And he was turning. He was going for it.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was lollygagging out of the box either.
That's all he had. Here's the 1-1. Lamb, check swing foul over the third base dugout, all the way to the second deck here at Chase Field. Great crowd, by the way. Last night, a little bit under 30,000. More than that tonight. Big Hispanic Heritage celebration. And the lower deck pretty much filled in fair territory between the foul poles. Upper deck, let's call it 50% filled. Middle deck, mostly filled. Good to see them getting some support here, having won 13 out of their last 14. 1-2 in the air down the left field line, but again fouling into the seats. Lamb last night 2 for 4 with an RBI double and a run scored. Mentioned that ugly series back in June in which the Diamondbacks just kept hitting and hitting. He had 7 RBIs in the 3 games. That included a 3-run homer in Game 2 of the series. Ball and 2 strikes. Chacin, a long look in at Hedges. Now he's ready to go. And the pitch is taken on the outside. Ooh. Was going to say corner, but no. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just missed.
Apparently, home plate umpire Jordan Baker thought it was just off.
Deep breath by Chacin. Scoreless game, bottom of the first. Now the 2-2 to Lamb, and this time it is on the outside corner. Strike 3 call. So the first inning comes to a close scoreless for the Diamondbacks, like the Padres. No runs, a hit, and nobody left. We go to the second. Nothing in the desert on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
Holding season tickets, waiting through rain delays, staying extra innings. Now that's commitment. One bite of our Boar's Head Ever Roast chicken, and
National City will have brand new Fords available on site, and Ford will donate $20 per test drive, up to $6,000 total, with 100% of the
opportunity and fairness. That's what I care about. Their membership earns a livable wage with affordable health care and a secure retirement.
2 games of Padres baseball are right here. FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
After 1 inning, no score at Chase Field in Phoenix, and today's Padre Cleanup Hitter is sponsored by X-Termite, reminding you that broken wood in your home could be from termites. Get a free termite inspection by calling X-Termite at 800-475-3186. Yangervis Solarte will lead it off here out of the 4 spot. Switch hitter, batting left-handed and playing shortstop today. Already made 1 nice defensive play on a ball hit by David Peralta. Getting a look here at Zach Godley. Big right-hander into the windup, and the first pitch to Yangervis is a fastball just outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, some day games today that impact the playoff races in both leagues. How about Milwaukee 15-2 over the Cubs? And the Brewers now 2.5 out of a wild card spot behind Colorado. 1-0 is low. 2 balls and no strikes to Solarte, and just 3 back of the Cubs in the Central.
Yeah, I mean, Central shaping up to, it looked like the Cubs were going to run away for a second. Now things have kind of scrambled together again, and the teams are only 3 back.
To a pitch, and Solarte receives one up high. 3 balls and no strikes.
Milwaukee playing the Chicago Cubs tough in Chicago. They won their first 2 games of the series, so the team is definitely not afraid of that Cubs team.
15-2 probably feels pretty good also. 3-0, Solarte taking all the way. It's a strike. Indians won. Not that that's really a bulletin at this point, except for the fact that it's 17 in a row.
I mean, you think back to when we were there and right before the break, and it's a completely different ball club right now.
3-1 pitch, Solarte takes again, and the curveball's there for a strike to fill up the count. 3-2. September baseball, Dodgers-Rockies coming up later in L.A. Now the 3-2 pitch. Solarte out in front, ground to second base. Descalso a little bit to his left, has it, makes the easy and short throw over to Goldschmidt. 1 away. That was the X-Termite cleanup hitter.
Second inning of Padres Radio is brought to you by Sin Lee Food Wholesale. Chicken you across the road for.
1 out of the base is empty here in the top of the second inning. No score for Will Myers. Don't forget that even though last night was a 10-6 slugfest, the scoring did not start till the 4th inning.
That's right.
Kind of get lulled into a false sense of security in this ballpark, and then whammy. Myers in the game last night, 2 for 5 with a single, a double, and a run scored. He has hit in 6 of his last 7, and he takes up high 1-0.
Sometimes it's just a matter of finding getting a couple pitches that find the barrel, and this stadium is a great place to hit.
A lot of the Padres with big numbers here at Chase Field. No surprise. This one fouled back out of play. 1-1 to Myers. I call it Coors Light.
Yeah, it's a very appropriate name for this stadium.
I mean, it's, 1,000 feet above sea level?
You can breathe a little bit better here
Than there. Yeah. But plays very similarly. 1-1. Myers takes the curveball for a strike. 1-2. That thing moves so much, and he'll throw it for a strike, and then you think it's going to be a strike, and he puts it in the dirt.
And it's so much harder than most curveballs. I mean, he's thrown it anywhere from 82 to 84 miles per hour in this game so far.
1-2. Myers ugly swing and a miss. He was fooled by the curveball. Gets away from Iannetta, throws down to first base, and the strikeout is completed. 2-3.
I mean, it's slider speed with curveball action, and that's tough. When you're talking about a ball that is literally going 12-6, it's tough to lay off that pitch.
One of the things you often hear from whether it's a player or a hitting coach or a manager is when a guy does something that almost no one else does, it is very, very tough. And Godley is kind of in that category. Here's Spangenberg, left-handed batter, swinging and missing at a first pitch curve. 84 on that one, 0-1. An example for the Padres from last night, Kyle McGrath. There's nobody that looks like Kyle McGrath, so especially those first couple of times you see him, it can be very unsettling as a hitter. No balls, 1 strike. Pitch to Spangenberg is a curve low and outside.
That one at 85 miles per hour. So, listen, we're talking about a curveball that is a completely different pitch than a slider, but it has that type of velocity on it.
1-1, slow roller right side. It will be handled by Goldschmidt. Flips to Godley covering, and they get Spangenberg a 1-2-3, top of the second. For a moment, looked like it might get caught in no man's land between Goldschmidt and Godley, but they made the play. And after an inning and a half, no score in Phoenix. This is the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
Hey, this is Tony Gwynn Jr. Let me tell you about my favorite casino.
2017 or 2018 Camry gas and hybrid models sold by midnight September 30th, 2017. See your San Diego County Toyota dealer for details.
We've got what it takes, San Diego.
Toyota, let's go places.
Canyon Pottery has moved and is having a huge sale. Get up to...
You're listening to the new home for the San Diego Padres, FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Big ovation here at Chase Field for Paul Goldschmidt. He had sat out the last 5 games with a sore right elbow, back in the lineup tonight. He faces Jhoulys Chacín. Scoreless game, bottom of the second inning. Goldschmidt had an MRI. It revealed no structural damage. He had the cortisone shot. And now, baseball. Takes the first pitch, fastball, and a called strike from Chacín, 0-1.
It didn't seem to have too much of an effect on that ball club. I mean, they still went out and won the 5 games that he was out of, or I should say the 4 of the 5 games that he was out of the lineup.
And that's an MVP candidate right there.
Yeah.
Pitched down by his feet, 1 ball and 1 strike. That fastball got away from Jhoulys. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. Is it wasn't like, some random middle infielder hurt his elbow. This is the heart and soul of their team, their best player. And when I say MVP candidate, being quite literal, he is.
Yeah.
1 ball and 1 strike to Goldschmidt. The pitch from Chacín is taken, and a strike at the top of the zone, 1-2. Leads Arizona with a .314 average. Leads Arizona with 33 homers. Leads Arizona with 109 RBIs. Also has 32 doubles, 17 stolen bases. And he's among the league leaders in walks. Ground ball foul back to the on-deck circle, still 1-2. 152 hits on the season, more than any other D-back, and he is sitting on 996 hits for his big league career. Good player.
To say the least. Fantastic player. And he's just not flashy, not a lot that stands out about him. He just puts up numbers.
This time he puts one into shallow right field. Myers, Asuaje, Blash, all there. Asuaje makes the catch in fair territory. Second baseman goes out, makes the play, and Goldschmidt's return is a pop-up to the second baseman. 1 away in the bottom of the second.
Number 28.
Via Petco Park for Fiesta in the Park, presented by Southwest Airlines, Friday, September 22nd, before the Padre game against the Rockies. Pre-game happy hour features live entertainment and food and drink specials. Tickets at Padres.com/party. 1 out, and the base is empty for J.D. Martinez. Diamondback right fielder hit a 2-run homer last night. That made it 8-5, and you start to get a little bit nervous. First pitch here is a slider and low, 1-0.
I mean, for as quick as they were down, they were able to put together some runs, and that's what makes this team so dangerous. They put up a 5 spot just like that, and we're right back in this game.
1-0 slider is low, 2 balls and no strikes. Craig Stammen kind of maybe gets lost in the shuffle a little bit last night. Yep. Shouldn't. That was huge.
Again, there is a reason why manager Andy Green keeps putting him in those situations. The results have been on the positive side mostly all year long.
Slider for a strike, 2-1. Former Tiger and Astro Martinez. Acquired on July 18th in trade. Hit 16 homers in 57 games with the Tigers. Already more than that in 43 games with Arizona. Now the 2-1 from Jolie. Swing and a miss at the slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Martinez. The home run, by the way, his only hit of the night last night. He was 1 for 5, struck out 3 times. And now against Padre pitching this year, 3 for 17 with 5 strikeouts. Excuse me, 7 strikeouts. 3 for 17 with 7 strikeouts. Visited Petco as a Tiger earlier this year. 2-2, ground ball left side through for a base hit. Right between Solarte and Spangenberg. Second hit of the night for the Diamondbacks. And a 1-out base runner here in the bottom of the second.
Fastball looked like Chacin tried to get this pitch in. Maybe misses by a half a baseball in the middle of the plate. And J.D. Martinez finds a hole through that between the third baseman and shortstop for a single.
Now A.J. Pollock. 0 for 4 last night, hitting at .261, 9 homers, 27 doubles, leads the team with 6 triples and 19 stolen bases. Martinez at first, not much of a running threat. And Jolie's first pitch is low, 1-0. Pollock batting 6th. Good hitter whose numbers are down this year, and as of late, numbers against right-handed pitching particularly down. But like everything else, they're surviving it because they're so good and so deep right now. Slider called strike, 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, at one point in this year, he was the leadoff guy for this ball club. Now he's dropped down into the 6th hole, and really the Diamondbacks haven't missed a beat. Again, that speaks in large part to the type of offense they have. And listen, A.J. Pollock isn't having his type of year, but he's still playing a pretty strong center field. And, you know, when you have an offense that scores as much, defense becomes that much more important.
1-1 pitch is a little bit low with a fastball. Don't forget, last year, 12 big league games. That's it. Fractured the elbow right before the season started. Came back in September, suffered a groin injury. And they said at that point, okay, we'll shut this thing down.
So he pretty much missed an entire year of baseball.
Yeah. I suppose these sorts of struggles are understandable in a situation like that.
Then you add to it that your ball club that you're on is playing so well, you want to be contributing. You start adding more pressure to yourself, and sometimes this is what you get out of it.
2-1, broken bat flare right side. Myers has it, goes to second. That's 1. Solarte's return not in time. Chacin, good job of covering, but Pollock, who's got great wheels, able to beat it out. That said, they cut down the lead runner, a 3-6 fielder's choice. 2 outs, Pollock on first, and second baseman Daniel Descalso coming up.
Number 3, Daniel Descalso.
Couldn't have really done anything better there.
No, I mean, Will Myers is able to make the play. Great throw. Keeps on the inside of the runner. Unfortunately, A.J. Pollock runs too well to double him up.
Descalso at second base tonight. Yesterday started at first with Goldschmidt out of the lineup. Brandon Drury was at second last night. He's on the bench today. Plenty of bench available for both of these teams, particularly the D-backs. They added 2 more from AAA today. After the Padres AAA affiliate eliminated the Diamondbacks AAA affiliate in the PCL playoffs last night. Chihuahuas over the Aces, El Paso over Reno. So a couple of those Reno Aces have joined the D-backs today. I can't even count as high as the number of guys they've got on the bench. 7, I think. 2 outs, runner on first. Left-handed hitter, Descalso waiting. And the pitch from Chacín is a fastball outside, 1-0. Descalso batting 7th. The shortstop, Ketel Marte, is on deck if they get there. Chacín in 15 career starts against the Diamondbacks, 6-4 with a 3.31 ERA. Most of that coming during his time as a Rocky. 1 ball and no strikes. Hedges sets up away from the left-handed batter. And the pitch is in the air, foul, left side, back behind the third base dugout, into the seats. And 1 ball and 1 strike to the former Cardinal, Daniel Descalso. Actually with the Rockies last year or two. But I think because of that 2011 World Series and his participation in that postseason run, just one of the guys you always think of as a Cardinal.
I mean, he had some good years, too, with the Cardinals.
Signed with the Diamondbacks back in early February. Plays all over the diamond. Super utility type. Did that for the Rockies last year, without a doubt. Here's the 1-1 from Chacín. It's in the dirt. Gets away from Hedges. Pollock on his way to second base. He'll make it without a play. So a wild pitch issued by Jhoulys Chacín. That's something we've seen a decent amount of this year. He's had some really tough starts where he had major control issues. Better the last couple of times out, but still, that was his team-leading 7th wild pitch. Excuse me, Lamet has 8.
One thing those two guys have in common is that really wipe-out slider, and so sometimes they're gonna put so much spin on it that it's going to be tough to keep in front, and that's just one of those things you have to live with a guy who has that kind of slider.
They seem to have come in bunches this year, his wild pitches. Hopefully not the case tonight. 2 balls and a strike now to Descalso with Pollock at second. 2 outs in a scoreless game. And this pitch is just outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Chacín had that game in St. Louis where he hit 4 batters. A couple of wild pitches there as well. That was after he hurt his hand. 3-1, called strike, and now the count is full. 3-2 on Descalso. But yeah, 4 different games this year. He's hit more than 1 batter in a game. Mentioned time for the team lead and wild pitches now.
Yeah, Chacín has had starts where his command hasn't been great, but in a lot of those same starts, he's been able to battle back and pitch well.
And that's been the fun thing to watch. Here's the 3-2, just outside, and ball 4. Thought he had it, didn't get the call from Jordan Baker. And now 2 outs, runners on first and second, and Marte coming to the plate. Exactly right, though. I mean, able to get to that 5-6 innings, maybe 2-3 runs. Veteran guile, whatever you want to call it. But does a good job of limiting the damage even when he is his own worst enemy.
Those are the type of guys that allow your bullpen to flourish because you're not having to dip into them too early. He squeezes, he's able to squeeze out 5 or 6 innings, and those are innings that the bullpen doesn't have to come in and pitch.
2 on, 2 out. Marte switch hitter from the left side, and he takes a slider for a strike. 0-1. Chacín needed only 14 pitches to get through the first inning. He has thrown 21 here in the second. Descalso and Pollock take their leads off first and second. Myers plays behind Descalso with the left-handed hitter at the plate. And the pitch is a breaking ball strike on the outside corner. 0-2. Might have been the change. Marte 2 for 5 last night. 5-game hitting streak. 277 hitter on the year. More games in AAA than here. But played a big part as of late. Now the 0-2. And Chacín misses low. Slider that time. Ball and 2 strikes.
Generally, when Chacín gets to 2 strikes, he goes to that slider. But we've seen him use the changeup to lefties and use it effectively. We've seen the curveball at times. But a lot of times he goes, especially with a left-handed hitter, will go to that back foot slider. That's just so tough for left-handers to lay off when put in the right spot.
Runners lead off first and second. Scoreless game in the second. The 1-2 is grounded foul at first. That was a slider. Marte, a former Mariner, we've seen a lot of them in spring training the last few years. Obviously, the Padres and the Mariners see quite a bit of one another, sharing that Peoria complex about a half hour from here. And he got a lot of run against the Padres as a Mariner minor leaguer in spring training. And with the injuries suffered by the D-backs, getting some good opportunity here at the major league level this year. Good little player, just 23 years old. Ball and 2 strikes. Chacin a look at second. Pollock is dancing there. Now the 1-2, and Marte grounds it foul again at first base. Lost his mom during the season. Car crash in the Dominican. Young woman. Missed a few days. Obviously a difficult thing to go through in the middle of a baseball season. Two on, 2 out. Scoreless game, bottom of the second. Ball and 2 strikes. Chacin comes set. A long look at second base. Now the 1-2 pitch, and Marte takes just low. 2-2.
There's that changeup we've talked about. Chacin had gone back-to-back sliders. And to Marte's credit, he was able to foul him off. Now he goes to the changeup. And had that pitch just been a little bit higher, I think he catches him looking there, because I think Marte is protecting against that slider.
Hedges goes through the series of signs with Pollock out at second base. Jolice is set. Now the 2-2. It's low and outside. Ball 3.
So putting a very good at bat together here against Chacin. Laid off some tough pitches, fouled off some tough pitches. And as a hitter, that's really all you can do. He started this at bat 0-2 and has had to fight off some tough pitches, lay off some tough pitches, and just hope as a hitter you get the pitcher to make a mistake at some point.
There'll be a head start on the bases for Descalso and Pollock. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch from Chacin, and it is outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks, and now the bases are loaded. That's the bad news. The good news is the pitcher, Zach Godley's coming up.
It's a really good pitch there by Jhoulys Chacin there. Must have missed just off the plate away to the left-handed Ketel Marte. Backdoor, looked like a backdoor curveball. But you're right, the good news is the pitcher is up.
Now last night the Padres starter Jordan Lyles had a huge 2-run, 2-out base hit. They really got the Padre rally going in the 4th. Godley, though, not the most accomplished hitter. On the season, just 2 for 37, and in his career, an .078 hitter. He's never had an extra base hit. First pitch, swing and a miss. He almost put himself into the ground and finished with one hand on the baseball bat, 0-1. A for effort. Right-handed batter. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Chacin trying to keep it scoreless. Here's the 0-1 and a fastball strike on the outer half. 0-2. So Chacin ahead of Godley. No balls and 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. So he takes care of the pitcher, 1-2-3, but a 31-pitch second inning for Chacin. Diamondbacks leave the bases loaded. After 2 in Phoenix, no score on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
Shop GTM stores in Lemon Grove, Santee, and Otay Mesa, and discover bargains on thousands of brand name home, office, and personal items at savings of up to 70% below other retailers. For coupons, directions, and more, go to GTMstores.com. GTM.
Andrew Meisner is at the beach, where the temperature of the sand approaches the temperature.
The best way to get relaxed and friendly summer savings is to visit Toyota Carlsbad today. You'll find low prices on a huge selection of new and used Toyotas. See daily specials online at Toyota. Please pay.
Country Fest Christmas on Padres Radio.
Second game of a 3-game series here at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. No score between the Padres and the Diamondbacks. Padres took the first game of a series against the Snakes for the first time this year. These are the final three between the two teams here. D-backs will come to Petco once more later on this month. 3-game set, 18th, 19th, and 20th. That's actually right after the Padres get back from this road trip. It is a long road trip. Wrap it up here tomorrow afternoon. Day off Monday in Minneapolis. 2 night games against the Twins on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then a day off in Denver. And 3 at Colorado next weekend. Odd bit of scheduling, but it is what it is. Jabari Blash leading off against Zach Godley, and he takes a big swing and a miss at a cut fastball, 0-1. Godley's allowed just 1 hit through the first 2 innings. And Blash here tried to check his swing, but couldn't hold up on the curveball. And he's behind 0-2.
And it looks like Jabari's got a little something different going on at the plate. He had been doing kind of a quick toe tap. Now he seems to be kind of using a leg kick.
No balls, 2 strikes. He does kick the leg, and same pitch, same result. Tried to check his swing, couldn't on the curveball in the dirt. That's strike 3. Third strikeout of the night for Godley. And 1 away here in the 3rd inning. That's a timing thing, I imagine?
It is. It's a timing thing, and the leg kick is not easy to switch to mid-season. So it's going to take some work, and he's going to have to stick with it if he elects to go that route.
Just a few weeks left here in the 2017 season. We're getting pretty consistent playing time.
Yeah.
1 out, bases empty for number 8 hitter Austin Hedges. Bends back from a high fastball, 1-0.
So many guys in the league now are using it, and it's not an easy timing mechanism to have.
I don't think it's any secret. He's been late on the fastball last few weeks. 1-0. Hedges bends the knees but takes a strike. Good curveball. 1-1.
And I think the misconception is I think a lot of hitters, when they start to do it, they tend to start later. And really, because it's a leg kick, you probably should start early.
1-1. Fastball, top of the zone, first strike, 1-2.
I remember listening to Jose Bautista, who really career took off when he started using it. He starts extremely early. And a lot of times getting your mind and your body to link up is tough from a timing standpoint.
1-2 is chopped into the ground, foul at third base by Hedges. It is incredible to think about how a guy can change his stance a couple of times over the course of his season, and then you think about the guys, and I guess for me, Cal Ripken Jr. is one that really stands out. Right. Just changed it over their careers time after time after time. Hedges lays off a pitch in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pete Rose looked very different at different stages in his career. Got to find what works for you in that moment, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch to Hedges is line foul just over the Padre dugout. Look out in row 3.
I mean, when we're talking about hitting, I think perception, and by perception I mean what you think you're doing and what you're actually doing. The quicker you can get as a hitter those two to line up, what your perception is, what you're thinking you're doing, and what you're actually doing, line up, you start to have some success.
2-2 popped up behind the plate. Iannetta sheds the mask, coming straight back on the warning track, makes the catch. Hedges fouls out to the catcher behind home plate. And 2 outs here in the 3rd.
All yogis are invited to Yoga Day at Petco Park on Sunday, September 17th for a special yoga session on the field presented by Lululemon. Tickets include a Padres-themed yoga mat and are available exclusively at Padres.com/yoga. Namaste.
You ever do yoga?
I have. I enjoy yoga.
Chacin, 2 outs, bases empty, scoreless game, top of the 3rd. Swinging and missing at a first pitch fastball, 0-1. Jolis, of course, this year has swung the bat really well. .245 average. He's got 12 hits on the season. Only Jacob deGrom of the Mets has more among National League pitchers. He's got 14. 0-1 is taken, low and outside. Tomorrow's starter for the Diamondbacks, Robbie Ray, he's got 12, same as Jolis, but only one man has more. Got the career average up to 196. Look out, Andy Green, he's coming for you. 1-1, chop back to the pitcher. This will not be a hit. Handled with the glove by Godley. Takes it about 3/4 of the way. Underhand toss. And a 1 to 3 foot out. And a 1-2-3 third inning for Zach Godley. After 2.5, still no score at Chase Field. This is the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
Hey, this is Tony Gwynn Jr. Let me tell you about my favorite casino, Valley View Casino.
Including G-Shock, Movado, Juicy Couture, and certified pre-owned Rolex with gifts starting as low as $49.95. Plus, at Daniels, they offer guaranteed credit. You can apply online today at danielsjewelers.com. Use code San Diego for a free $50 gift card.
Daniels makes your diamond dreams come true.
Daniels Jewelers, making diamond dreams come true since 1948.
Follow us on Twitter at Padres Radio. This is FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Bottom of the third inning, no score. Padres and the Diamondbacks. Before we continue, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
KDCT San Diego. Download the FM 94.9 app.
Did he get it?
For commercial-free music during all Padres games.
He got it!
Go to FM949SD.com for details.
At Chase Field, Phoenix, Arizona, with Tony Gwynn Jr., I'm Jesse Agler. Ted Leitner will be back tomorrow afternoon for the final game of this series. Here tonight, no score between the Padres and the D-backs as Arizona sends the top of the order up. In the bottom of the third inning, David Peralta grounded to short his first time up, and he takes low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Nice play by Solarte to get him out, leading off the bottom of the first inning. 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts last night, but still hitting well over 400 against the Padres this year. Takes a changeup there. It is just low from Jolies. 2 balls and no strikes. Peralta, left-handed hitter. Hit a first-inning home run off Chacin here back in April. 2-0, floats in, and a called strike. Top of the zone this time, 2-1.
There's that curveball. Sometimes you'll see Chacin use it to kind of find his feel a little bit, get his location back to where it needs to be. And he's had success doing it all year long.
2-1, there you go. On the outside corner with a slider for a called strike, 2-2. That's the thing that you always have to think about when you're looking at a sequence of pitches. Sometimes you say, why would he throw that pitch in that count? And that's his way of getting back on track. 2-2 is on the inside corner, strike 3 call. A fastball top of the zone on the corner, and Peralta caught looking. Third strikeout of the night for Chacin, and 1 away in the bottom of the third.
It's so easy to focus on Chacin's slider, but I think this is the pitch that has made the slider so effective. The inside-out fastball to a lefty starts in on his hip, runs right back over the inside corner. And at this one's tough because it's at the top of the zone where he located. It's a tough pitch to even get a swing off at.
That would be the early observation here on the strike zone of Jordan Baker tonight. High strike is in play. And that was a strike. You saw the replay with the box. It was there. But you don't often see guys work there, much less get the calls. Here's a slider and a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Chris Iannetta. Balls at a strike, right-handed hitter, and the pitch is grounded foul, third base. 0-2. Iannetta hit the ball hard his first time up towards the left field corner. Jose Perella hustled over, nearly made the catch on it, couldn't, and then delivered a strike to second base and threw Iannetta out, trying to stretch it into a double. One of 2 Diamondback hits tonight, both singles. Here's the 0-2. Iannetta takes the fastball low and outside. A little bit extra on that, 194 from Chacin. Last night was all about extra bases. Only singles so far tonight, but 12 of the 23 hits between the 2 teams yesterday were doubles, triples, or homers. 1-2 is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Each team doubled 4 times last night. Padres had 2 triples, Diamondbacks 2 homers. It was jumping.
It wasn't. The Padres did their damage with 2 outs in that 4th inning.
Here's the 2-2, and that one's hit high and deep to left field. If it's fair, it is trouble. It is foul. Iannetta just a little bit out in front, and he skies that one down the line. But well to the left field foul pole, still 2-2. And yes, it's called the foul pole.
We should just change it to the fair line and the fair pole, and then we won't have this discussion anymore.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Iannetta. Chacin, deep breath, now into the windup. And the pitch to the Arizona catcher is a curveball inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, you were getting on me in the postgame show a couple of weeks ago because I referred to it as the foul pole, which is what it's called. And then my retort to you the next day was, have you ever called it the fair line?
I haven't.
So there you go.
I am stuck in my ways just like baseball.
3-2 is fouled back behind home plate. You're right, though, of course. If it hits the line or it hits the pole, it's fair. So why are they called the foul line and the foul pole? I don't know. But they are.
It's a mystery. None of us will ever know why, because it doesn't really make any sense based on how the game is called.
Because someone a long time ago called it that.
Right.
That's kind of the entire answer. But who that guy is? No. 3-2, line to right field. Blash came in. Now he's got to go back, but he gets there, makes the catch. Iannetta, for the second time in as many at-bats, a well-struck ball to the outfield, but neither time it's been fruitful. 2 outs, bases empty. MLB.com at Bat is your #1 mobile app for live Padres baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Padres home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today.
You know, as an outfielder, there certainly is an advantage to being tall on line drives. You can afford to take a step in or two, and it doesn't hurt you as much.
Here is Lamb. Swinging and missing. Left-handed batter struck out his first time, 0-1. Is this a challenging place, this roof in particular, or is it okay?
It is the first couple times you play. It takes some getting used to, but I always like playing outfield here. It gets you opportunity to run underneath balls and they hang up a little bit longer.
Pitch in the dirt, 1-1. Made your Major League debut here, didn't you, July of 2006?
I did, off of Brandon Webb, who at that time was one of the best pitchers in the league.
Yeah.
You never forget that nervousness you feel stepping in the big league box for the first time.
Ball outside, 2-1. July 15th, 2006. Brewers, Diamondbacks. Right here. 11 years ago.
Long time ago.
2-1 is outside. That was the curve. Now 3 balls and a strike to Lamb, who bats here with 2 outs and the bases empty. Scoreless game, bottom of the 3rd.
Look at Lamb's numbers. I mean, he's 3 homers away from 30. He's 2 RBIs away from 100. He's had a good season.
Remarkable. Liner right at Myers. Just sticks up the glove, makes the catch. And a 1-2-3 third for Jhoulys Chacín. We'll go to the 4th. Still no score in the desert. This is the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
Are you military?
His all-star team will take care of you. The entire team will treat you right. Sun Road, Kearney Mesa Subaru. They're #1, you know. That's not just my opinion. That's the #1 claim based on the 2017 Subaru Sales Report. Sun Roads, Kearney Mesa Subaru, just minutes from anywhere in San Diego, or visit KearneyMesaSubaru.com.
Are you on a mission to save time and money?
Instagram at Padres Radio Network. This is FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Top of the order for the Padres in the top of the 4th inning. No score here in Game 2 of this 3-game set at Chase Field in Phoenix. Manuel Margot, an infield single his first time up. And respecting the speed, corner infielders come in against him here. Zach Godley delivers and a chopper right at the third baseman. Lamb's got it. Throw across. He's in plenty of time. 1 pitch, 1 out for Zach Godley here in the top of the 4th. You always make the coaches look like geniuses. You bring somebody in, you position him a certain way, and the ball on one hop goes right to him.
That is usually how it works out for guys who can run a little bit. They usually bring the third baseman in either even with the bag or in front of the bag, and so those choppers that would normally be kind of tough plays on short outs become easy outs.
That was pretty much what happened for Manuel his first time up. That's still the only Padre hit, and still the only time they've had a guy aboard tonight. Suaje takes, and a called for a strike. So now 9 in a row retired by Godley. Suaje struck out in his only other at bat. And the 0-1 is in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Padres playing another good team here this weekend. Took last night 10-6, but I mean, if you go back on the Padres schedule to August 17th, the only team they have played since, and the only team they will play moving forward, who's out of contention, is San Francisco. 1-1 in the air, left field, down the line, foul and out of play. And they've held their own, truly. 4 with Washington, 3 in St. Louis, 3 in Miami. Dodgers at home, St. Louis at home. Now here, going to Minnesota this week, going to Colorado, then back home for Arizona, Colorado, then to the Dodgers. This is not exactly an easy way to finish up the year. 1-2 pitch is fouled away.
It's a tough way to finish the year, and I mean that part of that speaks to how tough the NL West is. I mean, most of those teams you named are in the NL West. It also speaks to the competitive range that second wild card spot had brought on. Now teams they know they have a shot. They're going out and making moves that make their teams better, as in like the Minnesota Twins, where Padres head to next. It just makes it more of a competitive year down the stretch.
The 1-2, and Asuaje reaches for one, just tips it foul behind home plate. Still a ball and 2 strikes. It's a great test for this young team. You know, playing in an atmosphere like there was here yesterday, like they're going to see in some of these places in the final couple weeks of the season. And they've answered the bell pretty decently, all things considered.
And it should be fun for the young guys. I mean, you're going into an atmosphere that maybe you haven't been in all season long.
1-2, low and outside.
And you're getting a chance to perform on the kind of a big stage, a bigger stage than they're used to. And those tend to bring the better players out. They bring the best moments out of you when you get an opportunity to do that.
Think about big-time players making big-time plays in big-time games. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Asuaje. 1 out, bases empty. Swing and a miss. Strikes out for the second time tonight. That's number 4 for Zach Godley. And he's now set down 10 straight, 2 outs, and the base is empty here in the 4th.
Join the Padres for a pregame tailgate party on Saturday, September 23rd before the game against the Rockies at 5:40. The Celebrate San Diego tailgate presented by Budweiser features live music, food trucks, beer, and San Diego sports legends like Marshall Faulk and Trevor Hoffman. Get tickets at Padres.com/tailgate.
2 outs, base is empty for Jose Pirela. Scoreless game, top half inning number 4. First pitch to Jose is chopped into the ground. Shortstop Marte has it. Sidearms his throw across the diamond. And another 1-2-3 inning for Zach Godley. All of a sudden, 11 in a row set down by the Arizona starter. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. No score. It's the Padres nothing. The Diamondbacks nothing. On the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
RanchoJeep.com. 300 vehicles must go during Rancho Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram's Jeep Celebration event. Get our lowest
Santee and Otay Mesa and discover bargains on thousands of brand name home, office, and personal items at savings of up to 70% below other retailers. For coupons, directions, and more, go to GTM.
Online at KSON.com.
Follow us on Twitter at Padres Radio. FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Bottom of the 4th inning, no score between the Padres and the Diamondbacks. Jhoulys Chacín throwing a lot of pitches. Worked out of a bases loaded jam in the 2nd. And now gets Paul Goldschmidt leading off here in the 4th. First pitch to him is a slider that runs up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Goldschmidt in the lineup for the first time in 5 games for Arizona. Popped up to Asuaje, his first time up. Chacín's pitch here is a slider and is a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Goldschmidt in his career against the Padres, over 300 average. He hits them well, he hits the Dodgers well, he hits here well. He basically just hits well. But this season at home, over 340. Pitch is taken a little bit in. Another slider, 2 balls and a strike. This year against the Padres, he is hitting .405 in 13 games. He has scored 15 runs in those 13 games. All-star for a 5th straight year this year. 2-1, skied, shallow, right side. Myers coming over right near the bag at first base. Now 1 step in foul territory. He makes the catch. And Goldschmidt, for the 2nd time this evening, has popped out 1 away in the bottom of the 4th. Padres Radio is made possible by Daniels Jewelers. Daniels Jewelers, making diamond dreams come true since 1948. JD Martinez has one of the 2 Diamondback hits. He'll come up here with 1 out of the bases empty. 44th game in a Diamondback uniform. One of them historic. First pitch is inside, 1-0. Had the 4 home run game Monday at Dodger Stadium. 18th man to ever do it. 2nd this year.
And we talked about Dodger Stadium, how it is not a hitter-friendly park. He certainly made it look like it that night.
Yeah, takes down and in again. 2 balls, no strikes. I mean, he went in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings against 3 different pitchers. That's different. 2-0. Line foul, top of the screen, right side. 2 balls and a strike to Martinez. Jolis now at 70 pitches here in the 4th. Most of them were thrown in that 2nd inning. Walked a couple of guys through 31 pitches that inning. Outside of that, he's been very efficient, very good. And he and Zach Godley kind of matching zeros right now. Here's the 2-1. Called strike on the outside corner. Right at the knees, and now 2-2. Martinez didn't like the call, but it was a good pitch. As the count is now evened up.
And you mentioned earlier, I think it was last inning, how the zone seemed to be more dictated towards the higher strike. Going to get a lot of griping if you're giving both of those.
Yeah. Pitch is clearly outside this time. 3-2. That's why I favor, personally, some use of electronic strike zone to help the umpires. You draw the strike zone to be exactly how big you want it, and that's it. Can't complain. 3-2 pitch, grounded foul. So 1 out, base is empty, scoreless game in the bottom of the 4th. Martinez 2 years ago, an all-star and a silver slugger with the Tigers, hit 38 home runs that year. He was released by Houston before the 2014 season. Tigers scooped him up, and he just exploded in Detroit. Great numbers. And then as they sort of unloaded this year, he ends up here. Swing and a miss at a 3-2. Looked like the slider from Chassin, no surprise. Strikeout number 4 for Jolis. 2 outs, base is empty here in the bottom of the 4th.
This is a good example of a hitter doing everything he can to extend the bat, fouls off pitches, but Chassin was able to still make the pitch after pitch after pitch, ending with that strikeout on the slider right there.
A.J. Pollock now grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. 4 for 9 in his career against Jolis. Takes a fastball inside, 1-0. Chassin seems to have a pretty good feel for all of the pitches tonight. I feel like we've seen more of a mix than we usually do, especially at this point.
Yeah, I mean, usually fastball, slider, 2-seam slider. Today we have seen a bunch of different looks from him.
Ball and no strikes. And a swing through a fastball here. 1-1.
And that may be because we go back over the last few starts, he has struggled with command earlier and maybe has been a little more stubborn, sticking with that repertoire he's used to. Today, we've seen him go to that curveball down 2-0 to kind of find feel and get back on track.
Ball and a strike to Pollock. And that one is a slider that just misses. 2-1. Thought he had strike 2 there. His mannerisms have become very familiar at this point if you come to a lot of games or watch a lot of games. Kind of shakes his head like, not sure about that. Takes off the glove, rubs the baseball, rubs the arm. Now a 2-1. Pollock waits, and a ground ball right at Solarte. Padres shortstop has it. Quick transfer, throw to first. And a 1-2-3-4 for Jolis Chassin. Still no score. We'll go to the 5th inning. This is the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
Every time a bat breaks in the game, it's a reminder to check your home for termites. Broken wood in your home could be from termites.
Daniels Jewelers, making diamond dreams come true since 1948.
You're listening to the new home for the San Diego Padres. FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Start of the 5th inning, still no score between the Padres and the Diamondbacks. Zach Godley and Jolis Chassin. Pitcher's duel. Last night got off to that start, ended up as a 10-6 final. Favor the Padres. Here's Solarte leading off. First pitch swinging, and he sends himself down to a knee. Fouls it back towards the on-deck circle. Right side. Will Myers will handle it for the ball boy. 0-1 to Jan Hervis, who grounded out to second base his first time up.
I think one of the difference you've seen between the two lineups is we haven't seen the Padres grind some of these at-bats out like we're used to seeing them do.
Pitch is high and outside. 1-1 to Solarte.
And because of it, you look up at the scoreboard. Chassin has 78 pitches. Godley has 52.
Threw only 9 last inning. And he has retired 11 in a row. A lot of ground balls. 1-1 pitch is line foul just beyond the Padre dugout. Ball and 2 strikes to Solarte. The good thing about Chassin is, the pitch count doesn't bother him.
Right.
78 or not.
And he doesn't mind working to get his outs. It seems like he almost thrives in it.
Now the pitch to Solarte and a swing and a miss. Curveball in the dirt. Iannetta will throw down to complete the putout. 5th strikeout of the night for Godley. Goes 2-3. And 1 out, base is empty for Will Myers.
Fifth inning is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings Tuesday at B-Dubs. Let's run it back. Wings Tuesday at B-Dubs are now half-price Wing Tuesdays. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. See restaurants for details.
1 out, base is empty for Will Myers. He can break a scoreless tie very quickly with 1 swing. And he takes it low and outside. Cut fastball from Zach Godley.
Hadn't really seen that pitch the entire day.
Bag of tricks. 1-0. Curveball and a strike. 1-1. 84 miles per hour. So in the box, are you seeing curveball movement first and kind of expecting, because of experience, it to be a certain speed? Is that kind of what happens here against a guy who throws it so hard?
I think your first at bat, first couple at bats, that's what you're seeing. But after that, the adjustment has to be made as far as the type of velocity on that curveball.
2-1, swing and a miss. Curveball down. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Myers. Will struck out his first time on a curveball in the dirt.
It's not as he's the depth on these curveballs are the same. Some he's starting a little lower and they work more almost like the slider. Some he's starting up in the zone that end up in the strike zone.
Pitch way outside. That's the tricky part. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Myers.
Yeah, I mean, it's real easy from where I'm sitting right now. Let's point that out. But, I think the adjustment is seeing it up. He hasn't really used the fastball up in the zone, so you can kind of eliminate that.
3-2 to Myers on the way, and a curveball grounded foul at third. He has retired 12 consecutive Padres. And a rare 3-ball count tonight. Nobody has walked. Only 1 man has reached base. An infield single by Margot, leading off the ball game. And he was thrown out trying to advance to second base on what would have been a throwing error. Everybody else has been set down by Zach Godley as we play here in the 5th. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Myers. The pitch is again foul. Back behind home plate. Still 3-2. Diamondbacks are 6-3 in Zach Godley's 9 previous home starts. He's certainly doing his part so far tonight. But Jhoulys Chacín has matched him frame for frame. 3 total hits. Another 3-2 coming to Myers. And he lines it out to left field, but he was out in front. It'll be a foul ball. Still 3-2.
And those are the curveballs you want to attack right there, are the ones that start higher in the zone. Now, this wasn't his best curveball, but that's pretty much where you're going to need the curveball to start based on how he's thrown the other ones in order to be able to take a swing at it.
Another 3-2 on the way, and a ground ball first base. Goldschmidt backing up on it. Little flip, and Godley covers 2 down. That one got awkward for a moment. I think it had some funny spin on it. But Goldschmidt, certainly a Gold Glover and a Gold Glove caliber guy over at first base. Able to make the play. Good job by Godley getting there. And so now 13 in a row retired by Godley, which is something that was accomplished last night by Padres starter Jordan Lyles. Set down 13 straight. And a few batters later, he's out of the game.
How quick the game can change.
Spangenberg up, grounded to first, his first and only at bat, 0-for-1, and he takes a fastball outside, 1-0. Scoreless game, top of the 5th. Did not see Corey yesterday. Here's the 1-0. And that one glides in for a strike. Good curve, 1-1. Solarte was at third base yesterday. Perella in left. Those are generally the spots. Spangenberg gets his starts. Third base tonight. Now the 1-1. Left-handed batter. Chops it over to second base. Descalso kind of backed up on it. Has it. Makes the throw. And another 1-2-3 inning for Zach Godley. He is now set down 14 in a row. We are midway at Chase Field in Phoenix. Still no score between the Padres and the Diamondbacks. This is the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
iNowQuotes.com, your one-stop shop for all your auto insurance needs. Log on today to make the insurance company.
Baseball on FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Bottom of the fifth and bottom third of the Arizona batting order coming up. This is a scoreless tie between the Padres and the D-backs. Jhoulys Chacín and Zack Godley, both starting pitchers, locked in. Jhoulys had the one long inning back in the second with a couple of walks. Outside of that, he has been magnifico. And the first pitch here to Descalso just misses. And 1 ball and no strikes. There are low-scoring, low-offense games in which the batters just aren't doing well. And pitchers aren't necessarily either. This is a liner up the middle and a base hit. Descalso, who walked his first time as a lead single here in the fifth. 7 in a row had been retired by Chacín ever since those back-to-back walks in the second. But tonight, this is legitimately good pitching for both these guys.
And this isn't a bad pitch from Chacín here. Sinker down and away, and Descalso, whose bat was obviously in the zone a long time, hits this ball off the end of the bat, but it's right up the middle for a base hit.
So the lead man aboard here, and number 8 hitter Marte, switch hitter, walked his first time up. See if the Diamondbacks put anything in motion here with the pitcher on deck. And the first pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. That was the changeup from Jhoulys. Just kind of dropped it right in. 2 hits last night for Marte. Padres facing him for the first time this year in this series. He was in AAA until late June. Teams have not played since early June. The 0-1 is low inside. Chacín went 7, allowed just 2 earned runs on Sunday against the Dodgers as he got the win. That was his 12th victory of the year. Career high is 14. Now the 1-1 pitch and a liner to left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Marte goes the other way. Back-to-back singles for the Diamondbacks, and they are set up for a sacrifice here with the pitcher coming up. 2 on and nobody out.
Now this wasn't as well located. This fastball is up in the zone, and Ketel takes a great swing at this and whacks this ball on a line to left field. And we talked about this offense of the D-backs being able to score in bunches. They've already got off to a good start here in the 5th inning.
The 7 hitter and the 8 hitter with singles to start it off. And now Godley, who does have 6 sacrifice bunts on the year, is up in a very obvious bunting situation. Myers charging hard at first base, as always. And the pitch is bunted up the third base line. Spangenberg comes in. He's got only 1 play. Throw to first, and that is a 5-4 sacrifice. Asuaje covering. So Godley helps himself. And now runners on second and third. 1 out for the leadoff man, David Peralta.
I don't know that you can ask for a better sac bunt. I mean, this is executed perfectly. You want the third baseman to field this ball. It takes away any possibility of a force at third. Great job by Godley executing that sac bunt.
Got to know they worked on that over in Scottsdale at Salt River Fields in spring training this year, and he did it perfectly, like you said. 5th inning made possible by Buffalo Wild Wings. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Take advantage of the new 15-minute lunch guarantee at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. See restaurant for details. Descalso at third, Marte at second. 1 out for David Peralta. This is a scoreless game for the moment in Arizona. Chacín going to have to channel his inner Craig Stammen here and get out of the jam. Spangenberg about even with the bag at third base. Everybody else backed up on the infield. And the first pitch is a changeup just outside, 1-0.
I think for Chacín, being able to go to some of his pitches, secondary pitches early in this game could help him in this spot here where you don't necessarily want to have to throw the fastball. You want to be able to use your secondary pitches in order to get these outs. Soft contact.
1-0 foul back behind the screen out of play. 1-1 to Peralta. Yeah, I think it's one of those old school baseball axioms, right? When guys used to throw 9 innings with regularity. Hey, you don't want to show them everything too early. That's not what it is anymore. And you dive into the numbers, and pitching coaches will tell you right from the start, show them whatever you got. You don't have to save stuff. You don't have to hold it back, especially when the average guy is only going 5 or 6 innings.
And for Chacin, he's not the average guy. His pitch count isn't really an issue for him.
Now the 1-1, and a little bit outside. Try to back up the slider on the left-handed hitter, 2-1.
A lot of times, especially now with the game being the way it's played now, you don't need a starter necessarily to go that deep, but that's a lot of it is based off pitch count and guys not having too high of a pitch count. So for Chacin, we already know that pitch count doesn't matter, so he can go to those pitches earlier than most guys.
The 2-1 is lined into center field. That's a base hit. Descalso scores. Marte being waved. He rounds third. He'll score without a play. A 2-run single for David Peralta. And the Diamondbacks break through here in the bottom of the 5th. Back-to-back singles by the bottom of the order. A perfect sac bunt by the pitcher. Just how they drew it up.
And so in this inning, here it is again. A curveball looks like that's right in the middle of the plate. And Peralta takes a great swing at this pitch in the middle of the plate, lines it right back where it came from, up the middle. Gets the two RBI single to put the D-backs up 2-0.
That is the score now in the bottom of the 5th inning. So now it becomes Operation Limit the Damage for Jhoulys Chacin. The batter, Chris Iannetta, is certainly a double plate candidate. And the first pitch to the Arizona catcher is low, 1-0. Iannetta officially 1 for 2 on the night, single and a line out.
Have to go back to Godley's bunt, executing that perfect first and second sac bunt to third. Puts himself in a position to get a win with the way he's pitched so far.
Here's the 1-0 Iannetta. Came in, hit him on the hand. Maybe the wrist. Maybe the forearm or the elbow.
You hope it's the forearm. It could take a little bit more of a beating than the wrist.
They're booing here, but obviously Chacin in this situation would never hit anybody with intent. Now Jake Lamb with 2 on, only 1 out, and Goldschmidt looming in the on-deck circle. That was pitch number 90 for Chacin here in the 5th. Lamb 0 for 2 tonight. The Diamondbacks have more hits in this inning than they did in the first 4 combined. And they've taken a 2-0 lead. Peralta at second. Good speed, very good speed. Iannetta at first, not good speed. And first pitch fastball for a strike to Lamb, 0-1. In his last 10 games, Jake Lamb has 8 hits and has walked 6 times. Been an on-base machine during this great stretch run for the D-backs. Paul Goldschmidt's their team MVP. This guy might be the runner-up.
Yeah. .256, 27 homers, 98 RBIs, 123 hits, slugging at a .500 clip.
An all-star for the first time this year.
Oh, and by the way, he's hitting in the middle of the lineup. I mean, this is a guy who has had a phenomenal year this season.
And oh, by the way, he has hit into more double plays than any other Diamondback. Well, he and Goldschmidt are tied, 12 each. One would do well here. 0-1, just outside. Chacin trying to paint the outside corner against the left-handed hitter. Just missed the canvas. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I mean, this is his second really full season of baseball at the big league level. And he's already putting up these kind of numbers.
6th round pick back in 2012. He a Husky, played at UW. Here's the 1-1. It's low. 2 balls and a strike. Things starting to move around in that Padre bullpen down the right field line. 6 relievers used yesterday. Valdez, Torres, Stammen, Baumann, Capps, and McGrath. Chacin coming up on 100 pitches here in the 5th inning. 2-0 Diamondbacks. Then they are threatening for more. Here's the 2-1 to Lamb. And in the air left field, going back, but with plenty of room. Perella now over towards the line a few steps. He will make the catch with grass beneath his feet. No chance to advance for either runner. Peralta back to second, Iannetta back to first, and that is out number 2. Here is Goldie.
Goldschmidt.
Padres have gotten Goldschmidt to pop out his first 2 at bats. You sense there's a little bit of timing issue going on, maybe knocking off the rust a little bit after sitting out for almost a week. But that doesn't mean Chacin doesn't need to make some pitches here and locate.
Still hitting at .313 with 33 homers and 109 RBIs. How long does it take to knock the rust off for a guy like this?
It only takes a couple at bats.
That's what he's had. So look out. First and second, 2 away. Big matchup here, and the first pitch is fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Came right after him with a fastball and ahead of the count. Iannetta and Peralta take their leads. Peralta's 2-run single has given the Diamondbacks the first 2 runs of this game here in the 5th. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch, and Goldschmidt hits it off the handle into shallow left. Solarte goes back, can't get there. It falls in front of Perella, and in to score is Peralta. Oh, they sawed him off, and he just floated it out to left field. 3-0 Diamondbacks. RBI single, Paul Goldschmidt.
What a terrific read by David Peralta here. This ball, as you said, saws off Goldschmidt. But this is not if you're not paying attention to where your outfielders are, if you're the runner on second, or where your shortstop is, you kind of have to freeze. You don't really know if this ball is going to drop. Peralta doesn't hesitate at all and scores from second on a play that most guys, I think, are on third base right now.
Yeah, even with 2 outs running on contact, I agree. But he knew he had the speed. I'm with you. I think most guys stop at third there on that ball. But he committed, I think, the moment the bat hit the ball that he was coming home.
He did. I mean, it was no hesitation. He running hard off the swing. And that's what you have to be doing with 2 outs there.
Martinez first pitch swinging, floats one into shallow right field, and this one will get down. Iannetta's going to try and score from second. He will. Back-to-back bloop base hits for the D-backs. And now a 4-0 Arizona lead.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Chacin has made 2 pitches where it could have gone either way. It gets in up, breaks a bat of Goldschmidt. This one saws off Martinez here, and it falls in front for another RBI.
Goldschmidt went to third base, so 2 outs, runners on the corners for A.J. Pollock, who will become the 9th man to bat in the inning. This is a 4-run 5th for Arizona. They had a 4-run 6th last night. Padres had a 6-run 4th last night. Big innings here in the big ballpark in downtown Phoenix. And Miguel Diaz, the long man for the Padres, who is outstanding in his return to action this past week, is up and warming in the bullpen. Pollock is 0 for 2 tonight. 0 for 6 in the series.
You know, we talking a little bit about 2 outs, guys moving, but a lot of guys can't actually run on the actual swing. Guys are not really willing to commit. You've seen 2 D-back runners score because they were willing to commit on swing.
Fastball, strike, 0-1 to Pollock. Darren Balsley, the Padre pitching coach, came out to chat with Chacin and the infield. Jolis now at 98 pitches. Runners on the corners, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, a 4-0 Diamondback lead. No balls and a strike. The pitch, curveball, and a strike on the inside corner. 0-2. Yeah, you think back to the sacrifice bunt, like you said, by Zach Godley. It was exactly what they needed, perfectly executed. Last night, Jordan Lyles, a 2-run single that really got the Padre rally going. National League Baseball, well done by both teams in the first 2 games of this set.
Yeah.
0-2 to Pollock. Chassin ready, and the pitch is a fastball on the outside corner, and strike 3 called. So the inning will come to an end on Chassin's 5th strikeout of the night. But the Diamondbacks score 4 runs on 5 hits and leave runners at the corners. We have played 5. It's now the Diamondbacks 4 and the Padres nothing. This is the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
The best way to get relaxed and friendly summer savings is to visit Toyota Carlsbad today. You'll find low prices on a huge selection of new and used Toyotas. See daily summer specials online today.
It's longer than the competition. To find a dealer near you, visit interstatebatteries.com.
San Diego Padres baseball on FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
After 5, Diamondbacks now a 4-0 lead, out hitting the Padres 7-1. 7-8-9 for the Pods due up here in the 6th. Jabari Blash leading off against Zach Godley, whose first pitch is a fastball that goes to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes. Blash hedges in the pitcher's spot here. We'll see if Chassin is given the opportunity to continue. He allowed the 4 runs in the 5th inning. He's at 100 pitches, and Miguel Diaz is warming in the bullpen. 1-0 is low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. I would guess not for Jolice, but you never know. Padres with this game and tomorrow before the off day on Monday, just in terms of bullpen usage. Here's the 2-0, and Blash takes the breaking ball. It's a strike, 2-1. Well, if you're looking for something encouraging, the 7-8-9 guys got the rally started for Arizona last inning. And that's who's up for the Padres against Godley here, but he has retired 14 in a row. And Jabari swings and misses, 2-2. Padres have had 1 base runner all night, and he was on base for, 8 seconds. 2-2 to Blash. The pitch on the inside corner at the knees, strike 3 called. 6th strikeout for Godley, who is now set down 15 in a row. The only base runner was Manuel Margot. Leading off the ball game, an infield single. The throw got away. He tried to get to second base and was thrown out. Everyone else has been set down 15 straight. Here's Austin Hedges.
Top of the 6th inning is brought to you by Think Blue. San Diego reminding you to keep pollution from our waterways by keeping the trash out of our storm drains. Think Blue. A change for the better starts with you.
1 out, base is empty. Austin Hedges, the number 8 hitter, swings at the first pitch and pops it straight up. On the infield, Goldschmidt comes in towards the mound, and to the right of the mound, he makes the catch. Out number 2 comes on pitch number 1 by Godley. 2 outs, base is empty. Number 9 spot. And it looks like Luis Torrens is going to be the pinch hitter here for Chassin.
Pinch hitter for Luis Chassin, number 21.
So Chassin's night officially over after 5 innings and 100 pitches. 4-5 catcher Luis Torrens. Haven't seen him since game 2 of the doubleheader against the Dodgers 1 week ago. 50 major league games this year for the 21-year-old. Still looking for his first big league homer. And he takes fastball low, 1-0. That'd be a nice thing to check off for Torrens in these final couple weeks. Doesn't get a lot of opportunity, not a lot of ABs. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And a fly ball down the right field line. Long run. J.D. Martinez over towards the line. Towards the corner. Won't get there, but it's a foul ball.
I think he heard you. He might have been trying to check it off right there.
Opposite field. Down the line. Maybe, 7 feet shy of the fence. A couple feet foul. Had the big bases clearing triple at Petco a few weeks back off the top of the fence in right center.
That's right.
Thought that might be it.
I can relate having a 0 in your column for a long time. It took me 3 years from the time I came up in 06 to when I got traded to San Diego in 09 before I got my first one.
That's a hang with it. 1-1, curveball, strike.
But then they come in bunches.
Sure. Why did it take so long? Yeah. Where was your first?
Arlington.
Good
Kevin
place.
Millwood.
2 balls and 2 strikes as he misses low to Torrens. Not a bad place to hit.
No. The funny thing is I played in Milwaukee the 3 previous years.
Fair enough.
And couldn't get one out of there.
He had a teammate who was hitting plenty, or a couple, I guess.
Yeah.
Now the 2-2 to Torrens. Checked his swing. He went, but the ball gets all the way to the backstop. Iannetta has no idea where it is. Torrens gets to first base, and he will stay right there. So the first Padre base runner since the first batter of the game will come on a strikeout wild pitch with 2 outs here in the 6th. You know, normal stuff. 7th strikeout for Zach Godley. But now Manuel Margot, who's got the only hit of the night, comes to the plate. Must have hit a piece of equipment or something, because that thing pinballed 30 feet from home plate.
It did. I think it hit right directly off of the plate and then caught some gear and kicked all the way over towards the D-back dugout.
So Torrens at first with 2 outs after striking out. And Margot 1 for 2. First pitch is there for a strike, 0-1. I'll ask this out loud because I have no idea. I mean, he had set down 16 in a row. Does that end on the strikeout wild pitch?
That's a really good question.
A 1 line to center field might not matter. Pollock over towards the gap, gets there to make the catch. Oh, Margot sent that one on a line out to center field, but Pollock tracked it down, and the inning comes to a close. Padres strand a runner and trail 4-0 in the middle of the 6th. Time now for the Padres Rewind, brought to you by Urge American Gastropub. Fine food and craft beer. Here's Rich.
And give you a quick recap of our game.
Chase Field to Jesse and Tony Jr., guys.
All right, thank you, Rich. Appreciate it very much. Miguel Diaz on to pitch as expected here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bottom 3 in the Diamondback batting order coming up. Those are the guys who started all the trouble in the 4-run 5th inning. Descalso, Marte, and Godley. Pitching change brought to you by the UFCW Local 135. The UFCW Local 135 supporting workers and the community. So Diaz making his 2nd appearance since coming off the disabled list, and the first one was wonderful. On Tuesday against St. Louis, Travis Wood went only 2+ innings. Miguel Diaz came on in the 3rd, went 4, and allowed just 1 hit. He struck out 6. He threw 72 pitches, and he really righted the ship for the Padres in what looked like it was going to be a very ugly night. So he'll try and pick up right where he left off here against another good hitting team. And Descalso, who's 1 for 1 with a single, a walk, and a run scored, is the left-handed batter to lead it off against him. Diaz, another Rule 5 pick, comes home, and his fastball misses inside at 96, 1-0. For Chacín, he goes 5 tonight, allows 4 runs on 7 hits. All 4 runs, and 5 of the hits came last inning. Here's the 1-0. Down the middle for a strike. Walked 2, struck out 5. And Chacín threw exactly 100 pitches, 59 of which were strikes. It was basically the 5th inning and then everything else for him. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball outside. Jolice, wonderful through 4. And they got to him in the 5th. Diaz ready now, the 2-1, and in the air foul left side into the seats and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Descalso.
We've seen that from Chacín over the past 4 or 5 starts where he just has that one inning that's, sometimes he's able to navigate through it, sometimes he's not. And today that 5th inning just couldn't get out of there without being hurt.
2-2 fastball just outside, and now a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 4-0 Arizona here in the 6th. And Descalso sends this one out to deep right field. Forget about it. Way up and way out. First home run of the night is Descalso's 10th of the year. His 2nd hit in as many innings. And the D-backs extend the lead 5-0 here in the 6th.
Descalso gets a fastball middle in. Supposed to be away. This ball is really on the inside corner, and Daniel Descalso just turns on this ball, hits it well up in the seats in the right field.
Now another left-handed batter for Diaz to face, the switch hitter Marte. First pitch, fastball outside, 1-0. Marte singled and scored last inning. Walked in the second. Same thing Descalso had done in his first 2 plate appearances. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Diamondbacks now 5 runs on 8 hits. Padres no runs on 1 hit. The pitch is high. Two balls and a strike to count. Zach Godley on deck. He's the story of the night so far. 2-1, swing and a miss. Arizona starter has faced 1 over the minimum through 6.
Predominantly with 2 pitches. His curveball and the fastball.
Now a 2-2. Inside, not by much. And the count fills up. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Marte. Padres took game 1 of the series last night. Arizona leading 5-0 here tonight. 1:10 first pitch tomorrow. Perdomo and Robbie Ray, the lefty who is 12-5 with a 2.80 ERA. 3-2 pitch outside. Check swing. No swing. And a walk. So runner on first, nobody out for Godley. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
You can download the FM 94.9 app.
Did he get it?
For commercial-free music during all Padres games.
He got it!
Go to FM949SD.com for details.
At Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona with Tony Gwynn Jr. and our producer-engineer Dave Marcus. I'm Jesse Agler. Ted Leitner back tomorrow afternoon for the series finale. Arizona 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Marte at first, nobody out, and the pitcher Godley, who had a big sac bunt last inning, is up there to do it again, and he pushes it to Myers. First baseman thought about second. He'll go to first with the Suaje covering. That is a 3-4 sacrifice for Godley. Perfectly done again. Marte at second, 1 away.
Godley's putting on a clinic here with sac bunt. He knows everybody in the building knows he's bunting, so he gets it out early. And again, much like Eric Ibar when he's bunting for hits, it's about placement. He's not worried about getting out of the box. He knows where he's supposed to go with this bunt. Puts a nice bunt down to the first baseman. Will Myers collected it quick, looked at second, but he knew his only play was to first base.
So Godley, who doesn't hit well, still contributes offensively. Part of being a pitcher in the National League. So 1 out, runner on second for Peralta. Left-handed hitting leadoff man, swings and misses at a first pitch changeup. A lot of fastballs from Diaz to the first few guys. Not this time, 0-1.
Possibly catcher Austin Hedges is sensing an ambush here. He likes to go with the changeup, and Peralta's way out in front.
Peralta turned 30 last month. Swings and misses at a high fastball here. Grew up with Yangervis Solarte in Venezuela, and his road to the big leagues pretty much unlike anybody else's. Pitcher in the Cardinal organization, out of baseball, independent ball as recently as 2012, came back as a position player, and has turned himself into a very productive major league outfielder. Behind in the count, though, 0-2. Pitch from Diaz is fouled straight back. When he got the call up to the big leagues from Double-A a couple of years ago, he cried with his manager. His manager was Andy Green.
And they say pitchers aren't athletes. In this case, that's not true. Most of the time it is, though.
Tell you what, he doesn't look like a pitcher. When
He doesn't.
How is he ever a pitcher? Diaz turns around and watches the runner Marte back to the bag at second, but no throw. No balls and 2 strikes on Peralta. Diaz a look at Marte. Now he'll come home. And the pitch is a ground ball to second base. Asuaje near the back of the infield dirt. Throws to Myers. That's out number 2. Marte advances to third base. And the batter will be Chris Iannetta. Want to join the Pod Squad and be a Padres ambassador? Well, now's your chance. Padres are hosting Pod Squad auditions on November 4th, and you can apply to be on the squad. Visit Padres.com/Pod Squad to submit your application today. Say that 3 times fast. Padres.com/Pod Squad. Pod Squad. 2 outs, runner on third. Iannetta 0 for 2, hit by a pitch his last time. Somewhere on his arm. Checks his swing, and the pitch is low, 1-0. It was hard to tell. Hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, somewhere on the arm.
Either way, he's still in the lineup, so it wasn't anything significant enough to get him out.
Took one to the mouth early this season. Where's that protective guard now? And he takes outside. 2 balls and no strikes. There's a guy in Miami who got hit in the mouth a couple of years ago. He seems to have moved past that. Giancarlo Stanton, what, he hit number 54 today against Atlanta?
Having a tremendous year.
2 balls and no strikes to Iannetta. Came home to score one of their 4 runs in the 5th inning. Checks his swing, but a strike. Fastball on the outside corner, 2-1. If you had to name a National League MVP today, he's in that conversation. Goldschmidt, we talked about earlier. A couple of the Colorado guys.
Yeah. You wonder if that hurts the Colorado guys, the fact that there's 2 of them.
Split the votes.
Could split the votes there.
Pitch low, 3-1. Where's your gut take you? National League most valuable player.
My gut is taking me, honestly, to Charlie Blackmon. I mean, you look at what he's doing. He's leading all of baseball in hits. He's got 30-something odd homers, over 100 RBIs.
Do you hold Coors against him at all?
I don't, because his numbers aren't that much different on the road than they are at home.
3-1 in the air, foul right side. Myers gives it a look-see, but it'll be into the seats and out of play. Now 3-2 on Iannetta.
But then you look across at somebody like Paul Goldschmidt, who's having a fantastic year. His team is in playoff contention. I mean, I guess if you're going to hold Coors Field, I guess you got to hold this stadium against Paul Goldschmidt.
I think that's fair.
So that cuts those guys out if that's the case.
I'm not saying I would, but there are people who might.
There definitely are people who are going to.
Yeah.
So then you look at a guy like Giancarlo Stanton, who's probably playing in a stadium that isn't to his benefit offensively, yet he's still putting up outrageous numbers, especially in the home run category.
Now the 3-2, Iannetta fouls another one straight back. Imagine if he ever ended up in a place that was a legit hitter's park.
Oh, my gosh.
Because, I mean, he clears everything in Miami. We saw one there that was on the walkway down the left field line, you know, behind the stands. He clears that thing in left center all the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's balls that would have gone out of the stadium if the back windows are open.
And with an old school closed stance. Here's the 3-2. In the air, foul right side again, and again Myers coming over, and again it's into the seats, this time about 3 rows and back at the Padre dugout.
You know what's funny is you go earlier into the year and you're watching Giancarlo. His stance is much more, open, and you fast forward for right around the time, right before the break when he got on fire, and it's completely closed off. So 1980s, so to speak.
He looks like a light-hitting infielder from the 80s, the way he stands up there.
Right.
And he isn't, obviously. 3-2 again to Iannetta. And again a foul ball right side, back behind the dugout. Way out of play. Still 3-2. 5-0 Diamondbacks. 2 outs, runner on third here in the 6th. Just to throw one more name out there, you got to consider Washington because of where they are in the standings. And, Harper missing time, so he's probably out of it. But you can throw Anthony Rendon's name in there. If you really want to stir things up, you start talking about Scherzer, maybe Kershaw. Haven't mentioned any Dodgers, have we?
We haven't.
Is Justin Turner for you the MVP of that team?
Yes.
Okay. 3-2, liner, past Spangenberg into left field. Marte comes in to score in a long battle between Iannetta And Miguel Diaz ends with an RBI single. And now 6-0 Snakes.
As you said, a long battle by Chris Iannetta, fighting off pitches from Diaz. Gets a breaking ball that's up a little bit, although Iannetta's out in front. Is able to get enough barrel on this ball and line it just past the outstretched glove of Spangenberg there for an RBI single.
A 9-pitch at bat that featured 4 straight foul balls on 3 and 2. Now Jake Lamb, left-handed batter. Runner on first, 2 outs. And he takes fastball strike, 0-1. Long inning here, time-wise as well as runs-wise. And just wonder if that has any impact on Zach Godley, who has cruised through 6 shutout innings. He's throwing a 1-hitter right now. We'll see. No balls and a strike. Diaz comes home, and Lamb tried to check his swing. They appealed to third. He held up. Ball and a strike. The Arizona third baseman who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Back-to-back fruitful innings for the Arizona offense, started by the number 7 hitter, Daniel Descalso. Like we said at the start, deep lineup. 1-1 is outside, 2 balls and a strike. So you got Turner as the Dodgers MVP. I haven't really seen his name kicked around in terms of legit MVP talk.
His missing that month and some change kind of hurt his chances MVP-wise, but I think he's...
2 balls and 1 strike. And a foul ball at the plate. And I mean, you asked Dave Roberts in a half, who's your most important guy? He didn't hesitate when he said Justin Turner.
Because it's easy to look at what Bellinger does, as he's done since he's been up, and you look at the record the Dodgers have had since he's been up. It's easy to point to him, but Justin Turner is the guy that when teams go to play the Dodgers, they game plan for. He's the guy that they are not going to allow to beat them most nights.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Jake Lamb. The pitch is taken low, 3-2. So I don't think we've decided anything, but we'll give everybody some names to chew on there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is there's still
a
lot of seasons. A lot can change in that little bit of time. You've seen Giancarlo, the kind of month he's had where he can hit a whole bunch of home runs in that month span. So you got to let this September play out into that first day of October before you can really make a decision this year.
Yeah. Offense and defense, I like Rendon a lot. He's spectacular and probably more under the radar than those other guys.
Yeah.
On 3-2, the runner goes, and Lamb sends it in the air to deep and straightaway center. Margot, though, has a little bit of room in front of the warning track. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. The Diamondbacks, though, get 2 more. A home run by Descalso and a 9-pitch at bat by Chris Iannetta that ends with an RBI single. We'll go to the 7th. Arizona now leads 6-0. This is the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
We know that when you own a business, success is earned every day through countless hours of hard work. And with each goal reached, you have 5 more in the works.
We bring you so close to the game, you'll need a glove. FM 94.9, Padres Radio.
After 6, the Diamondbacks a 6-0 lead on the Padres in Game 2 of this series. Asuaje, Pirela, Solarte, 2, 3, and 4 coming up against Zach Godley, who's throwing a 1-hit shutout tonight. Fastball, curveball, that's about all he's needed. And here, a fastball missing outside to Asuaje. 1 ball and no strikes. Godley trying to win a 3rd consecutive start for the first time since he won his first 3 Major League starts a couple of years ago. 3rd start against the Padres this year. Padres had won both of those games. As Asuaje takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. But the Arizona starting pitching continuing to be very good. Last night, the aberration. Padres knocked Corbin out after 4 1/3. They got 8 runs and 11 hits against him. Here's the 2-0. And Asuaje sends it in the air. Fairly deep center field. Pollock is racing back. Straightaway center. He reaches out and makes the catch. Kind of backpedaling onto the warning track out in front of the 407 sign. And Asuaje now 0 for 3. Gave that one a pretty good ride, but 1 out in the 7th.
You hadn't seen too many bad breaking balls thrown there by Godley, but that was the first one, and that's why he put a good swing on that. But again, this is why this place is fun to play outfield. Ball hangs up for you a little bit, run under it, look good.
Show off the wheels, the range. Here's Perella, 1 out, base is empty. Godley delivers, and a fastball strike, inner half, just 90. 0-1. So even with the Padres knocking Corbin around last night, Arizona starters in the last 14 games are 12-1 with a 2.33 ERA. Pitch in the dirt, 1-1.
And I think that was the question mark about this ball club. Maybe not expected the offense to be this good, but people expected this offense to score some runs. Question mark was the pitching.
1-1. Taken low. Greinke had the down year last year. He's bounced back. And Godley wasn't in the rotation. Shelby Miller ended up needing Tommy John surgery. That's sort of when he slid in there. And Miller was the other big name, even though he had a terrible year last year. Chopper foul at third. Handled by Glenn Hoffman, the Padre third base coach. Beautifully done. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Perella. But yeah, they've pitched way above expectation. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Perella waits and takes just inside with the curveball, 3-2. Dodgers at home trail Colorado 4-0 in the 4th. They have lost 13 out of their last 14 games. No team has ever lost 13 of 14 and won the World Series in the same year. 3-2 to Perella is strike 3 call. That time he gets the call on the curve. That is strikeout number 8 tonight for Zack Godley, and 2 outs here in the 7th.
Here's the top of the zone that home plate umpire Jordan Baker has called pretty consistently all night. And Godley's only faced one more than the amount of batters he could have faced this game.
And because of a strikeout wild pitch, Solarte swings and misses. 0-1. 1 over the minimum here with 2 outs in the 7th. Padres have had 2 men aboard. Margot an infield single in the first, thrown out trying to get to second on a wild throw. And then the pinch hitter Terrens in the 6th with 2 outs, struck out what reached on the wild pitch.
That's the only hit the Padres have had this game, too.
0-1 to Solarte is lined out towards left center field. That's going to be hit number 2. Pollock won't get there. Into the gap and up against the wall. Not only a hit, but an extra base hit. A 2-out double by Solarte here in the 7th.
I got a question for you. As much as we get criticized for possibly saying a hit pitcher has no hits, has given up no hits to a game, do we get credit when we say something like, you're only getting 1 hit and bam?
People only criticize. You have to learn that about this particular profession. You only hear about the negatives.
Good to know.
It's like an umpire. Nobody ever says, hey, that guy had a great game.
Very rarely.
Great strike zone. He was really on top of it.
You know, the only time you might hear that is in the playoffs. And that's usually because there was no drama involved. It's like, his zone was pretty consistent all day long.
Here's Myers, 2 outs, Solarte at second. He takes, it's low, ball 1. The rally lights are on here.
Is that what those are?
In Phoenix. I don't know why they're trying to rally with the Padres at the plate. But they've got the cell phone flashlights blinking.
I guess we should say thank you.
Not a sellout, but as good of a crowd as they've had in some time here tonight. As Myers hammers this one to deep left field. Forget about it. Will Myers to deep left field. His 26th home run of the year. And a 2-run shot with 2 outs here in the 7th against Godley. Gets the Padres on the board. And now 6-2 Arizona. The rally lights worked. Trip around the diamond sponsored by Daniels Jewelers. For every Padres home run, the Daniels Jewelers family donates $1,000 of value to benefit children's charities like Make-A-Wish San Diego. Daniels Jewelers making diamond dreams come true since 1948. A good September by Will Myers will make a lot of people feel very good.
This ball hits just below the scoreboard in left center. Off the air ducts.
Strike to Spangenberg, 0-1.
Look at just a bad cutter that more like a cement mixer right in the middle of the plate, and Will Myers does not miss it.
461 feet per StatCast.
It's pretty far.
Quite. Left the bat at 111 miles an hour. 1-1 to Spangenberg. 2 outs now. The base is empty after Myers homer. And the pitch is way outside. Godley's losing it a little bit here. Command not what it was, and obviously the hardest hit balls of the night coming here. Spangenberg, left-handed batter, waiting, and the 2-1 pitch floats in for a strike. Curveball on the outer edge. 2-2 to Spangenberg, who tonight is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts.
I mean, you look back through the at-bats in this inning, you had a Swihey hit a laser to center that turned into an out. Godley got the strikeout, but then the next 2 batters hit balls hard.
Way outside here to Spangenberg, 3-2.
And then you look up at the pitch count, he's 97 pitches in. I'm sure not used to getting extremely deep pitch counts. He may be fatiguing a little bit.
3-2 is lined and through for a base hit. Out of the reach of the second baseman, Descalso. Pollock, the center fielder, was playing the other way. Spangenberg's going to try and make it to second. He will. A hustle double for Corey Spangenberg here in the 7th. A double, a homer, and a double with 2 outs. And the Padres are tattooing the baseball right now from Zach Godley.
Right fielder.
Another breaking ball. That's up in the zone. Spangenberg waits back on this breaking ball very nicely. And as you said, because Pollock was playing him slightly over in the left center, the way Spangenberg runs, he's in second base easy standing up with a double.
So for Corey, his 16th double of the year. Last night at all the extra base hits, and again tonight, double, homer, double here in the 7th. The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th hits of the night for the Padres against Godley. Pitching coach Mike Butcher was out there chatting with his starting battery and his entire starting infield. 6-2 Arizona, runner on second, 2 outs for Jabari Blash. Jabari's first hit of the season was a home run here on April 25th. First pitch taken, and a curveball for a strike. Outer half, 0-1. Tonight, Jabari 0 for 2. And finally, action in the Arizona bullpen, as the right-hander David Hernandez is up and throwing. Godley about to throw pitch number 100. And Blash swings and misses at 1 in the dirt. No balls and 2 strikes. For all the runs they have scored in this series, that home run by Myers a few moments ago, their first homer here in this set. This inning has been by far the hardest that Godley has had to work all night. Padres have broken through. They trail by 4. Flash in the hole, though. Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Probably the end of the night for Zach Godley, and he finishes it on a high note with his 9th strikeout of the game. Career high is 10. Padres, though, do get a couple. Will Myers with his 26th home run of the year, a 2-run shot. And as we go to the bottom of the 7th, it's the D-backs 6 and the Padres 2 on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
Sorry I'm late, Fred, but lunch is on me.
Here, Padres baseball on FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Paul Goldschmidt will lead off here against Miguel Diaz. 6-2 Arizona. Padres get 2 back on the Myers homer in the top of this inning. Now Diaz will try and keep it a 4-run game. And a first pitch slider is a called strike. 0-1 to Goldschmidt, who in his return to action tonight is 1 for 3 with an RBI single. It was just a little sawed-off flare over Solarte and in front of Perella on the left side. This is a grounder right at Solarte. Big hop for him, and the sidearm throw is perfect to Myers. And Goldschmidt grounds out. 6-3 for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Myers, an interesting study with the home runs, Tony. Now 26 on the year. 19 have been hit on the road. Not sure there's anything to necessarily read into there. But it is a big split.
And that's been something that's been at the forefront for Padre hitters for a while since they moved into Petco Park.
Sure.
Now, obviously, this isn't the same Petco Park as, when they first moved in 2002, but I think a lot of guys, for whatever reason, have had more success as far as the home run is concerned on the road.
JD Martinez behind in the count, 0-1. Couple of singles, including an RBI bloop himself last inning. And he takes outside, 1-1. My gut would be chalk it up to randomness this year for Will Myers. He can hit him out of anywhere. I mean, that one went 461 feet, for goodness sake. 1-1. Fouled off at the plate.
I think you could also chalk it up to the year he's having.
Yeah.
If he's having the Will Myers year of last year, we might be talking a little different as far as the home run splits. But he struggled this year during different times of the year. So
1-2 to Martinez. Line shot up the middle, base hit. Margot's got to race over to track it down in left center. JD's going to try for 2. Here comes the throw. It is not in time. Got around the tag of Solarte. Well, similar to the Spangenberg double in the top of the inning. Hit it to where the center fielder wasn't. And Martinez hustled his way into second base.
The one thing that can trip you up here, this is a big outfield, and the grass is cut really short, so the ball moves a lot quicker.
It was close at second. Solarte trying to get the tag down, and Andy Green is going to challenge the play at second base. We have yet to see a good replay of what took place there. Margot makes a pretty good throw. It had something on it, a little bit towards the outfield side, but Solarte did a good job kind of reaching towards the foot of Martinez as he slid in. Taking a look now at what should be the definitive angle. Very hard to tell. You got an opinion?
It is really hard to tell.
I got out. But very close.
Very close. It looks like he's out, but very close has constantly turned into a call being upheld in most situations.
Yeah, they're just not going to mess with it.
It just seems like it's got to be definitive for them to say, for them to overturn a call. And yes, when you watch it, you look at it in slow-mo, it looks like the tag is applied to the calf right before the foot hits the bag, but I don't know if I would call it definitive.
This is why my idea is you should tell whoever looks at the replays in New York, do not consider the call on the field. Just look at it. Is he out or safe? Doesn't matter what the call on the field is.
I like that.
And I think if they were doing that, in this case, he's absolutely out. But it's hard to change it based on the ruling. But, I mean, even looking at the replay, the umpire, Mike Everett, he started to call him out.
Didn't he?
And he is out.
Wow.
There you go. So they overturned it. And Martinez out. 8-6. Good tag by Solarte. So it is not a double. It is a single. And there are 2 outs. And the bases are empty for A.J. Pollock. Nice job down in the Padre clubhouse. Not an easy one to see. And an assist for Manuel Margot.
Yeah, very nice job by Manuel Margot going to that gap. Able to get his feet set to make a strong one-hop throw. And a good job by Solarte using his athleticism to get the tag on.
Now Pollock waiting on Diaz and a fastball high. Martinez becoming the second Diamondback to be thrown out, trying to stretch a single into a double tonight. Iannetta did it back in the first. 6-2 Arizona. 2 outs and the base is empty in the bottom of the 7th. 1-0. Skied to right. Should be routine for Jabari Blash. Coming on in, making the call, making the catch. And the inning is over. No runs a hit, and nobody left for the Diamondbacks. We have played 7. Arizona on top 6-2. This is the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
Dual chrome-tipped exhaust. A 301 horsepower.
2017. See your San Diego County Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Shop GTM stores in Lemonville
are right here. FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
After 7, Diamondbacks 6-2, but the Padres into the Arizona bullpen. Former Angel David Hernandez acquired at the trade deadline. Big right-hander. On to pitch, and the pitching change is powered by GTM Discount Stores. Shop GTM, San Diego's #1 discount store. Austin Hedges, then a pinch hitter, and then Manuel Margot here in the 8th. Hector Sanchez is in the on-deck circle. Arizona led 6-0. Padres got 2 back last inning on Will Myers' home run, 26th of the year. Hit 28 last season. For all the talk about a down year, and it has been. Homers are there, and Hedges takes outside 1-0. Hernandez has been good as of late. Scoreless in 8 of his last 9. Doing a great job against left-handers, even though he is a right-hander. 1-0. Hedges goes down, reaches for it, lines it off the glove of the third baseman Lamb and down the left field line. A faster man might try for 2. Austin Hedges knows his limitations. A leadoff single here and down 4 runs. No reason to push it. Padres trying to get something cooking here in the 8th.
Here gets a slider. It's up in the zone in the middle of the plate and hits this ball off the end of the bat, but lines it off the top of the glove of Lamb. He's on board with a single.
So Miguel Diaz night is done. Couple of innings of relief for Jhoulys Chacín, who allowed 4. 2 runs allowed by Diaz, a homer by Descalso, an RBI single by Iannetta. Now the switch hitting catcher Hector Sanchez, 3 pinch hit home runs already this year. Lines this one out to deep right field. Martinez is going back. He reaches up and makes the catch on the warning track in right field. Hector gave it a ride, but a deep fly out is out number 1. Hedges back to first, and now it'll be Manuel Margot. Just missed.
Padres Radio is brought to you by EcoWater. EcoWater, the final barrier protection for your home and business.
So Sanchez got a pitch he could handle, went right after it. And now Iannetta is on his way to the mound. So is Mike Butcher. A lot of visits by the pitching coach tonight when you consider their starter had allowed 1 hit through 6 innings.
Yeah, I think the first visit he made was in that 6th inning, or was actually in the 7th inning. Came in, and I think it was just to give their bullpen time to get guys going because they had no one up at that point.
I sense there could be something similar happening here.
Yep.
Last time the plate umpire, Jordan Baker, he got out there and he kind of forcefully broke it up more than you'll normally see. And now again, he's sort of hovering over Butcher. And he hovers, by the way. Jordan Baker is a very large individual.
Right.
I mean, he towers over everybody out there. Breaks it up again. They don't give us height and weight on umpires, but Jordan Baker's got to be 6'6", right?
At least. He's a tall human being.
They should do that. Probably not, says Joe West. 1 out, runner on first. Manuel Margot at the plate. He's 1 for 3. Padres trail 6-2, and he takes a fastball strike, 0-1. Iannetta sets up outside, and the 0-1 from Hernandez is a fastball and another strike. 95, 0-2. Margot's leadoff infield single in the first inning was the only hit the Padres had until the double by Solarte in the 7th. But the Padres are only down 4. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, check swing, it's in the dirt, 1-2. Final line on Zach Godley. He goes 7, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, didn't walk anybody. Struck out 9, 1 shy of his career high. Gave up the home run to Myers through 101 pitches, 65 of which were strikes. At one point, retired 16 in a row. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Margot. The pitch, swing and a miss, flailing, and a good curveball down and away. That's out number 2. It'll be left up to Asuaje here in the 8th. Not only did Godley retire 16 in a row, but it was a stretch that got broken up when Luis Torrens struck out and reached on a wild pitch.
Right.
And now a pitching change here by Arizona. Well, you know, they've got plenty of arms available even after 6 different relievers worked yesterday. And with 2 outs, a runner on first, they'll go to the left-hander to face Asuaje. Pitching change brought to you by Rent Change for Arizona. The veteran left-hander Jorge De La Rosa on to throw for the Snakes. Diamondbacks have a 6-2 lead. But the Padres have Austin Hedges at first base, Carlos Asuaje coming up. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. And De La Rosa very tough on left-handed hitters. They are just 10 for their last 62 against him. That goes back to April. That is a 161 batting average. So we'll see how Asuaje can handle him. In this ballpark, you never feel out of it. And particularly down 4, it's doable. Asuaje and De La Rosa have never gone head-to-head. Carlos, of course, in his first full year in the major leagues. 59th appearance for De La Rosa, and the nasty slider for a called strike, 0-1. He's been getting it done for a very long time.
Former starter with the Brewers and then Rockies for a long time. Has made the adjustment over to being a reliever, and as you said, has had a good year against left-handers.
This one is lined through the shift on the right side for a base hit. Hedges on his way to second, and Carlos Asuaje with just the 11th hit by a lefty against De La Rosa since April. Now Pirela, a right-handed batter coming up. We'll see what Torey Lovullo decides. Yep, he's already out of the dugout and making the signal for the right-hander. So the Padres, with a pair of singles here in the 8th inning, have runners on first and second, 2 outs, and Jose Pirela coming up. Pitching change brought to you top of the 8th inning, and Archie Bradley on to throw for the Diamondbacks, one of the best relievers in the National League this season. Former starter, and sometimes the best moves are the moves you don't make. Arizona certainly tempted to put him back in the rotation, and their injuries to Shelby Miller and others this year, but they stuck with him. They were disciplined, and they said, we're going to make him a reliever, and it has paid huge dividends. He has been almost unhittable, and he enters here with 2 on and 2 out to face Jose Pirela. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. 2 on and 2 out for Pirela. Archie Bradley has a 1.25 ERA, second best among all National League relievers. This is his 56th appearance. 71 strikeouts in 65 innings. Pirela takes, and a fastball called strike, 96 miles per hour, 0-1. Asuaje at first, Hedges at second. Padres trail by 4. The 0-1, and Pirela takes another fastball, perfectly placed on the outer edge at 97, 0-2.
Just coming right at Jose Pirela with fastballs. First one at 96 miles per hour, second one at 97. Pirela, who's a good fastball hitter, and teams have started to adjust to that. Not ready for those 2 fastballs.
On 0-2, a ground ball to third base, backing up on it, Lamb. Long throw to first, he got him. Nicely done by Jake Lamb over at third base. That was not particularly routine, but he makes the play. Bradley comes out of the bullpen and puts out the fire. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. D-back 6 and the Padres 2. This is the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
At Coleman University, we prepare people to develop the world, like Coleman student and San Diego native Chris Sheldon.
I enrolled in the cybersecurity program because I needed a career change. At Coleman, I get personal attention from the faculty and small class sizes. Plus, I'm able to take advantage of the added learning resources and job placement opportunities and exposure to professionals in my field through the student clubs.
Become part of the fastest growing and highest...
Pre-Fest Christmas, starring...
Hey, this is FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Bottom of the 8th inning, and Phil Maton out of the bullpen to try and keep this a 4-run game. Arizona leading 6-2. Pitching change powered by GTM Discount Stores. Shop GTM, San Diego's #1 discount store. For the 3rd time in 4 innings, Daniel Descalso will lead off. Went well the first 2 times. Lead single in the 5th, started their 4-run rally, and then he homered leading off the 6th inning against Miguel Diaz.
He's had a good night. Been on base all 3 times he's been to the plate.
Walked his first time. And he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike from Maton, 0-1. Young right-hander in his first big league action here this year has really held his own most of the time. Maybe hit a little bit of a wall back half of the season, but Padres been very cognizant about his usage and his rest. Was up last night, did not get into the game. 0-1 is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Maton last worked in the Cardinals series on Wednesday. Worked the 9th inning in what ended up being a 3-1 Cardinal win. Did not allow a run. Ball and a strike to Descalso. And a ground ball foul at first base. 1-2. Diamondbacks 6 runs on 10 hits, no errors. The Padres 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors. And a crowd of 34,156 here at Chase Field is into it. Diamondbacks looking to bounce back after they dropped one yesterday for the first time in like 2 weeks. Here's the 1-2. It's high. Looking up at the out-of-town scores here, I'm sure the Arizona dugout is well aware that the Rockies have a 5-3 lead at Dodger Stadium. With the way the D-backs have been playing and the way the Dodgers have been playing, there is no reason for them to think that the division is out of reach at this point. It probably is, but they shouldn't think it. 2-2, high again from Maton.
That's a really good point. Although it probably is out of reach, their mindset should not even acknowledge that at this point, especially because of the way they've played over the last month. It's quite possible, even if they just close the gap further, it puts more pressure on that Dodgers ball club.
3-2 pitch is fouled away out of play. All you need to know is that Arizona has won 13 of 14. The Dodgers have lost 13 and 14. 13 of 14. And that's before tonight. And the D-backs have a 4-run lead. And the Dodgers trail. If the results hold, they will be 9 back. It's only September 9th. Crazier things have happened. Not too many, but some. Here's a 3-2. Taken, up, and away, ball 4. So a lead walk. And Descalso has now reached safely all 4 times. Pair walks, a single, a homer. And the batter will be shortstop Ketel Marte. By the way, last night, second time in Padre history that they ended a winning streak of that many games. The 0-1 Mariners, of course, won 116 games. They had a 15-game winning streak that was snapped by the Padres. Last night, only the second time all year they had allowed 10 runs at home. Marte, switch hitter, left side, chops one over Spangenberg. Solarte trying to track it down. He can't. It's into left field for a base hit. Oh, just a chopper to the right place. And like Descalso before him, Marte on safely for the 4th time in his many plate appearances. And Arizona once again being set up by their 7 and 8 hitters. They're on with nobody out and a pinch hitter coming up.
I mean, we talked about it earlier in the game about guys who can run. The third baseman is in, protecting against that bunt for a hit. Here's where it backfires. It actually bounces over the head of third baseman Corey Spangenberg, and D-backs are in business.
The pinch hitter will be Ildemaro Vargas, called up today from AAA Reno. Swings the first pitch right to Myers. Goes to second. That's one. Solarte back to first. Myers there. Double play. Nicely done. So Vargas just back from AAA Reno. Grounds into a 3-6-3 double play on the first pitch that he sees. Descalso goes to third. 2 outs for the leadoff man, Peralta.
And just like that, one pitch, they get 2 outs. Now this D-back rally does not look nearly as dangerous as it was starting out to.
Second straight outing for Maton that he put the first 2 guys on. Did it Wednesday against St. Louis. Got a double play to get out of that inning and didn't allow a run. Gets a double play here. And first pitch swinging and tipping. Into the mitt is David Peralta, 0-1. In the 9th, Solarte, Myers, Spangenberg. Those are the guys that have produced the 2 runs for the Padres. No balls and a strike to Peralta. Left-handed hitter waiting, and he takes a little bit in. Fastball from Maton. 1-1. It's been about a month since the D-backs lost back-to-back home games. They lead by 4 here in the 8th. And a high fastball makes it 2-1 on Peralta. Now the pitch. And on the outside corner, a called strike, 2-2. Maton's job is to keep this a 4-run game. Give the Padres the old fighter's chance in the 9th. 2-2 to Peralta. The pitch is in the air, foul, left side, and out of play. Chacin started for San Diego, went 5, allowed 4. Godley started for Arizona, went 7, allowed 2. He was near perfect for the first 6. Maton gets the sign. He comes set. Now the 2-2, and Peralta hits it on the ground foul at third base, just underneath of the feet of the runner Descalso. Kind of bunny hopped out of the way. Two balls and 2 strikes on the way, and Peralta takes just high. Full count. Runner at third is Descalso, 2 outs. And now a 3-2 to Peralta. Liner, base hit, right field. There's an insurance run. 7-2 Diamondbacks here in the 8th. Third RBI of the night for Peralta, his second hit. That feels like a big one.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a good at-bat there by Peralta. I mean, he fouled off some tough pitches, kept forcing Maton to make pitch after pitch, and here he gets a slider. And we've seen earlier in the game when he had the 2 RBI single, he handles that slider that's in the that catches a lot of plate well. And this one he lines in the right field for a single, giving the D-backs another run, making it 7-2.
Speaking of great at-bats, Iannetta last time, 9 pitches and an RBI single. Goes after the first pitch this time, sends it high and deep down the right field line towards the pole, but foul. 0-1. Iannetta and Miguel Diaz went head-to-head in the 6th. And on 3 and 2, he fouled off 4 straight pitches before coming through with an RBI single. No balls and a strike here. And the pitch from Maton. Check swing, but a called strike. Iannetta pair hits tonight. He's also been hit by a pitch. Driven in a run, scored a run, 2 for 3. As the Diamondbacks try and even this series. Game 3 tomorrow afternoon, a 1:10 first pitch. Perdomo and Robbie Ray. The 0-2 is high. Perdomo has won at least 6 in each of his last 9 starts. Really done a nice job. But this is not an easy place to pitch. Here's the 1-2. Iannetta puts a charge into it out to left center. Perella, Margot both there. Margot takes command of the situation, and the center fielder makes the catch. So the 8th inning is over, but the Diamondbacks add a run on a couple of hits. There's a man left at first base. We go to the 9th, 7-2 Diamondbacks on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
When trash, yard waste, and automotive fluids find their way into gutters and storm drains, they are on a direct path to the ocean. All of us need to do everything we can to keep our storm drains free of pollution.
9 Padres Radio.
9th inning and the last chance for the Padres. They trail the Diamondbacks 7-2. With Tony Gwynn Jr., I'm Jesse Agler. Ted Leitner back tomorrow afternoon. He's got the Aztec football game tonight. And the left-hander Andrew Chafin in to pitch for the Diamondbacks pitching change. Brought to you by Rancho Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Better service, better financing offers. No one saves you more than Rancho. Chafin, left-hander, he has thrown in more games this year than any other Diamondback. This will be his 64th appearance of the season. Solarte, Myers, and Spangenberg coming up. Well, down 5. Get on base. Ball loose on the field in center. Handled by Pollock. He flips it to some fans. Now getting back to his position so we can be ready to go. Solarte doubled his last time up. Came home to score on the Myers homer. Those are the only 2 Padre runs of the game. First pitch from the left-hander is inside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. Solarte 1 for 3. All of that batting left-handed. Archie Bradley got the final out of the 8th. De La Rosa and Hernandez also worked in the 8th after Godley went 7 strong. Here's a fastball and a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Chafin 1-0 with a 3.45 ERA. Trying to finish a game for the 13th time this year. Their closer is Fernando Rodney. Former Padres 36 saves. Here's a liner into right field. That's going to be a leadoff base hit for Solarte in the 9th. Now 2 for 4. And Will Myers coming up. Obviously not a save situation, at least not yet. Padres would love to make it 1. They trail by 5. Before Myers bats, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
KPCT San Diego. Download the FM 94.9 app.
Did he get it?
For commercial-free music during all Padres games.
He got it!
Go to FM949SD.com for details.
Chase Field in Phoenix, 7-2 Diamondbacks, top of the 9th. Solarte at first. Will Myers at the plate. He takes a slider for a called strike. 0-1 from Andrew Chafin. Jesse Agler, Tony Gwynn Jr. with you. Uncle Teddy back tomorrow. If this result holds, tomorrow will be the rubber game. Padres ended the 13-game winning streak last night. 0-1 to Myers in the dirt. Nice sliding stop by the catcher Iannetta to his left. 1-1.
This Padre Ball Club, no matter all year long, no matter what the score, will play to the last out. And Solarte singled to start this inning. Gets Myers up.
Will's home run is last time a 2-run shot and one of the longest we've seen all year. 1-1, swing and a miss. Ran the bat through that fastball. 461 feet off the AC duct hanging underneath the second deck in left field.
It's not a cheapie.
Yeah. Chafin, though, ahead of him, a ball and 2 strikes. The pitch is golfed out to left field and deep. That one's headed towards the corner, and it is gone. A home run down the line and into the bullpen. Myers' second 2-run homer in as many at-bats. And now it's a 7-4 game in the 9th. Well, perhaps somewhat fittingly, that ball landed at the feet of Fernando Rodney, warming up in the Diamondback bullpen, because he could be into this game pretty quickly now.
Obviously, the Diamondbacks bringing Chafin to get some work in, obviously, with a 7-2 lead. And this just isn't a good matchup, in my opinion.
That's 3 home runs in his last 3 games for Myers.
Well, Myers, regardless of whether he's swinging the bat well or not, he handles the ball down in the zone well. A fastball that really isn't overpowering. Chafin is going to have to be perfect to a guy like Will Myers.
Trip around the diamond sponsored by Daniels Jewelers. For every Padres home run, the Daniels Jewelers family donates $1,000 of value to benefit children's charities like Make-A-Wish San Diego. Daniels Jewelers, making diamond dreams come true since 1948. Chafin is out. Torey Lovello has gone out to the mound to retrieve his reliever. Chafin faces two batters. Solarte singled, Myers homered, and now it's arrow time in the desert. Former Padre Fernando Rodney going to try and close it out in a 7-4 game. Pitching change brought to you by the UFC. Fernando Rodney on to close it out after Andrew Chafin gave up 2 runs to turn this into a save situation. 7-4 Diamondbacks, nobody out in the 9th inning. And Rodney coming on looking for his 37th save. He has converted 15 save opportunities in a row. Tied for the second most saves in the National League. He's been good in these situations, but the ERA is up there over 4 for a closer.
He's been even better in this second half of the season. Got off to a rough start to begin the season, but since the break has really been lights out.
Pair of 2-run home runs for Will Myers have made this a contest. It was 6-0 Diamondbacks. And how big is that insurance run they got in the 8th?
It's huge.
Could have been 6-4, but it's 7-4. And Spangenberg up, hustled doubled his last time. He's 1 for 3. So former teammates going head-to-head here. And Corey shows bunt, pulls back, takes low, 1-0. Not that they were teammates for that long. Corey missed most of last year with injury, but Rodney was fun to watch in his time with the Padres. Pitched himself into the All-Star game, though he was traded before the All-Star game last year to Miami. Great character, great personality.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And he misses high here with a fastball, 2-0.
His changeup is his best secondary pitch. You could even call it his best pitch.
Yeah. It's a Bugs Bunny change.
It is. He uses it at any point in time.
2-0. Down the middle. That's a fastball strike. 2-1. Myers' first multi-home run game since June of 2016. Two balls and a strike. The pitch from Rodney, and it's in there. That's the change, called strike 2 and 2.
Has tremendous arm action on the change.
Now the 2-2. Spangenberg gets a fastball, pops it up left side. Going over to give it a look, Lamb, but it'll be into the seats and out of his reach. Still 2 and 2.
Typically, when you get that Bugs Bunny change, it's the grip. This baseball is stuffed all the way in the back of his hands. And you come out, you throw it as hard as you possibly can, and you get it to come out right. It has that Bugs Bunny-like string on it.
Swing and a miss. There it was. 1 away.
And this isn't a straight change either. This change is running down and away from left-handers. This pitch starts at the top of the zone, ends up completely at the bottom. Tough part for the hitters is that even if you take that pitch, it's likely a strike.
Now Jabari Blash, 1 out, base is empty. He gets a fastball. It's a strike on the outer half, 0-1. Rodney's warmed up now. That one 95. Spangenberg was seeing 92, 93. Blash 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. All of that against the starter Godley. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Slider.
Looked like it. And Jabari, who has elected to go to the leg kick today, really has struggled with timing this entire game. And now you have Rodney on the mound.
0-2 bounces in front of home plate. That was the changeup. Easier to take than it normally is when it bounces 4 feet in front of the dish. Ball and 2 strikes. Rodney wants to shoot his arrow. The Padres want to ruin his night. 7-4 Arizona. 2 runs in, 1 out, base is empty in the 9th. The 1-2 is high. 96 on that fastball.
It's about a 14-mile-per-hour difference between the changeup and the fastball.
Yeah, it's real deal. Now the 2-2. Blash takes low, ball 3. Well, for all of the mechanical stuff that Jabari is going through and the 3 strikeouts tonight, you know he's got a good eye up there.
Yeah. I think that hasn't been questioned all year long. His eye, I mean, just look at his on-base percentage. He's almost at 35%, 346 on base. And he only is hitting 217, so that kind of gives you an insight into the kind of eye he has.
3-2, change up, foul back our way. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. One out, base is empty. Here's the 3-2 and another foul ball, this time line down the right field line, about 20 rows up.
From a personal standpoint with Jabari Blash, this is the kind of at-bat he kind of needs to iron out some of that timing. He saw some pitches, he's been able to get some swings off where he's made contact and fouled some pitches off.
Iannetta, the catcher, asks for time here. Blash and Rodney both ready. And, you know, that's a poor moment of umpiring. Iannetta asked for time, and the plate umpire put up his hand, but Rodney didn't react to it, and Blash had no idea time had been called. Nobody said anything at home plate. Anyway, now ready to go. Here's the 3-2. High, ball 4. Jabari gets the fastball, lays off it, and now the tying run is in the on-deck circle with Austin Hedges coming to the plate.
Catcher, Austin Hedges.
Got that bat there by Jabari Blash. He's behind in the count, worked his way to a full count and draws the walk. Keeps the line moving.
Austin 1 for 3. Single his last time, couple of pop-ups. Takes a fastball low outside. Jabari Blash on first base after working an 8-pitch walk. Padres trailed 7-2 at the start of the 9th, now 7-4. Here's the 1-0. Hedges takes a fastball in off the glove of Iannetta, and now Blash down to second base. It wasn't a great pitch, but it wasn't totally wild either. Iannetta got the catcher's mitt on it, but couldn't stop it. Now, no double play and a 2-0 count. They were crossed up there, huh?
Yeah, it looked like it. Based on Iannetta's slow reaction, looked as though he thought that pitch was going to end up breaking back towards him. Instead, it's a fastball that kind of just gets away.
Called it a wild pitch, could have been a passed ball. Doesn't really matter to the Padres. Eric Ibar, by the way, is in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot is next. Two balls and no strikes to Hedges. The pitch from Rodney is a fastball, strike, inner half. Ibar, nice numbers against the Diamondbacks this year, including a couple of homers, including the solo shot off Greinke in the 1-0 win at Petco. 2-1. Hedges, hard hit liner down the left field line. Peralta going over, won't get there. It's into the corner. Blash will score easily. Hedges to second base. This is a 2-run game with 1 out and a runner on second here in the 9th. 7-5 Diamondbacks.
We talked about this ball club and how resilient they are. They keep playing no matter what the score is. Austin Hedges gets a changeup up in the zone, rips it down the left field line for a double and an RBI. Padres are now within 2 runs.
Ibar steps up. A triple, 2 singles last night. Couple of home runs this year against Arizona. And he bends back, takes a strike from Rodney, 0-1. At second base, Austin Hedges takes the lead. They're not paying much attention to him here in a 2-run game. Ibar waits. The pitch from Rodney. Swing and a miss. There's the good changeup. And he's ahead of the pinch hitter, 0-2. Seven-5 Diamondbacks here in the ninth. No balls in, 2 strikes to count to Ibar. Rodney's pitch is grounded up the middle. It's going to get through for a base hit. Hedges is digging for third. He will be waved by Glenn Hoffman. Pollock will not make a throw to the plate. An RBI single for Eric Ibar is a pinch hitter here in the ninth, and it is a 1-run game, 7-6. Hedges obviously not the fastest Padre, but Pollock, I think, more worried about preventing Ibar from getting to second base. Didn't even think about throwing home.
That's the right play if you're Pollock. Runner on second base, a single up the middle. As an outfielder, your job is to keep that double play intact. With a 2-run lead, that run that Hedges scores really means nothing. The most important run now is the runner on first base and the hitter at the plate. So Padres just continue to keep chipping away. Now they're within run.
And again, that insurance run against Maton in the 8th looms large. Either way, a 4-run 9th inning. 7-6. They've gotten 2 off of Chafin and 2 off of Rodney. Ibar has stolen 7 bases this year, if you want to get daring about it. Been caught 3 times. Rodney peeks over the shoulder, comes home. Margot takes, fastball, strike, 0-1.
Here are the Padres' 2 most pesky hitters coming up now with Margot and Asuaje to follow.
Margot, the 7th man to bat in the inning. Padres trailed 7-2 at the start of the 9th. It is now 7-6. Here's the 0-1. Checks, taken, outside, ball 1. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Rodney doesn't get the call. Margot last night, his first career 4 RBI game. Tonight, just 1 for 4 with an infield single. Here's the 1-1. Manuel up the middle, through for a base hit. A hard hit single into center field. It went right through Rodney's glove. And I mean, that thing was stung. The 5th hit in the 9th inning for the Padres. They've got 2 on for Asuaje, trailing 7-6.
Second baseman, Carlos Asuaje.
That ball was blistered up the middle. I think the thing you like most about Margot and Asuaje, just when you think they may need a day because they kind of had a rough day at the plate, they never seem to fail to come through on one of their last at-bats.
Asuaje singled his last time. He's 1 for 4. He's the 8th man to hit here in the 9th. Padres trailed 7-2. Now 7-6 with 2 on and only 1 out. They cannot fully with the base runners. First pitch in the dirt, 1-0. The shortstop Marte has to be around second base because of Ibar, the runner. Earlier in the game, they had all 3 of those guys, Marte, Descalso, and Goldschmidt, on the right side. Not the case here. See if that helps Asuaje find a hole. Rodney has converted 15 straight save opportunities. He's on the ropes. The 1-0 pitch, check swing, and a called strike. Asuaje can't believe it. Margot at first, Ibar at second. 1 ball and 1 strike to Asuaje. Rodney ready on the pitch. Fastball strike. Good pitch at 96. And he's ahead of Asuaje. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Went to the fastball went to the changeup his first pitch in this at bat. Has gone fastball thereafter. He does have the slider as well. Ibar signaling to Margot, make sure you get a good secondary.
Runners lead off first and second. Here's the 1-2. Asuaje slaps it to left field. That's down for a base hit. Peralta running over to get it. Ibar on his way home. He'll score. Now the ball gets away in left field. Margot's going to come home and score. On his way to third base is Asuaje. He is safe. And the Padres have taken an 8-7 lead here in the 9th.
Wow.
It'll be a single, 1 RBI, an error on Peralta that allows Asuaje to get to third and bring home the other run. A 6-run 9th inning. And Fernando Rodney is going to be taken out of this game.
I mean, you saw back-to-back at-bats of just as good as you can possibly have 2-strike hitting. Ibar and Asuaje come up, get down 0-2 or in 1-2 in Asuaje's case, and don't try to do too much and just flip both of them. Flip balls out. Asuaje to left, Ibar up the middle, and the Padres have the lead 8-7. What a comeback.
Rodney is done. He has blown a save after converting 15 in a row. Pitching change powered by GTM.
30 years. Stop by a branch today or visit MoneyTreeInc.com. Licensed by the Department of Business Oversight pursuant to the California Deferred Deposit Transaction Law to make consumer loans.
Money Tree, your money in time.
The best way to get relaxed and friendly summer savings is to visit Toyota Carlsbad today. You'll find low prices on a huge selection of new and used Toyotas. See daily summer specials online today.
Toyota Carlsbad.
Follow us on Twitter at Padres Radio. FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Jose Barela becomes the 9th Padre to bat here in the 9th inning. They have scored 6 times to take an 8-7 lead. J.J. Hoover on the mound. Runner on third. Still just 1 out. And Barela fouls one back to the screen. 0-1. Hoover faced 1 batter in the 7th last night, or got 1 out. He faced 2 batters. The other one was Manuel Margot, who delivered a 2-run single against him. Asuaje at third, 1 down. Infield is in. Here's the 0-1, and a fastball strike on the outer half. 0-2 to Barela.
I mean, that at bat by Asuaje was awesome.
He was going to tie the game no matter what. And then when Peralta kicked it around in left field, that allowed Margot to come in and score. And the Padres lead. Now the 0-2. Barela takes way high and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The importance of putting the ball in play.
Not that you need to be told this, but Brad Hand is now warming in the Padre bullpen. 8-7 San Diego. The pitch to Barela is low and outside. He checked his swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A huge error by Peralta. But the Padres get 2 off of Chafin and 4 off of Rodney. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Gets away. Iannetta will have to throw down to first base. He does. Asuaje stays at third. That's out number 2. And the Padres, even with the strikeout, have batted around now here in the 9th inning. Solarte coming up for the 2nd time. He got all of this started with a single against Chafin. So the Diamondback infield can back up with 2 down. Padres trailed 6-0 going to the 7th. They now lead 8-7. From the left side, Solarte swings, hits it in the air left field. Should be routine for Peralta. He makes the catch, and the inning comes to a close. Padres, though, send 10 men to the plate. They scored 6 runs on 6 hits. There was an error, and a man left. Will now go to the bottom of the 9th. Padres trying to put the cap on one of their most improbable wins, perhaps in years. 8-7 San Diego going to the bottom of the ninth on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
For years, people have asked me about the UFCW Local 135 because I speak for them. I believe in them. They are the United Food and Commercial Workers. Well, let me tell you what.
Pre-owned Rolex with gift starting as low as $49.95. Plus, at Daniels, they offer guaranteed credit. You can apply online today at danielsjewelers.com. Use code San Diego for a free $50 gift card.
Daniels makes your diamond dreams come true.
Daniels Jewelers, making diamond dreams come true since 1948.
When we say money and time, we mean money. Visit MoneyTreeInc.com. Licensed by the Department of Business Oversight pursuant to the California Deferred Deposit Transaction Law to make consumer loans.
Money Tree, your money and time.
You're listening to the new home for the San Diego Padres. FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
Bottom of the ninth inning, and 15-20 minutes ago, it didn't look like there was going to be a bottom of the ninth inning. But Brad Hand is out there to try and pick up the save after the Padres got 6 runs off of 3 different pitchers in the ninth inning. 8-7 San Diego. Jake Lamb, a lefty, leading off against Hand. He's 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Brad comes set, and the first pitch from the All-Star closer is in the dirt, ball 1. Pitching change brought to you by Rancho Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Better service, better financing offers. No one saves you more than Rancho. Lamb in his career against Brad Hand is 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. 1 ball and no strikes. 3 infielders on the right side. Ibar has stayed in to play short. He's on the left side. And the fastball hits the outside edge for a called strike, 1-1. And a 2.41 ERA, 16 saves, 93 strikeouts, 3rd most among National League relievers. 4th most in all of baseball. Here's the 1-1 to Lamb, and it's low and outside, ball 2. It's the heart of the Arizona batting order. Lamb, Goldschmidt, Martinez. Between the 3 of them, 79 home runs this year. He's got to earn it. 2-1, inside, ball 3. Save situation brought to you by Mission Fed. Each year, Mission Fed gives back over $1 million to the communities in which we live, work, and play. Mission Fed, all San Diegans welcome. Padres by a run in the bottom of the 9th. Jake Lamb leading off. Brad Hand, 3-1 pitch coming. Here it is, and it's outside, ball 4. A lead walk. And now Goldie.
Certainly not the way you would want to start the inning. And as you mentioned, the Diamondbacks have the heart of their lineup, the guys who can hurt you the most coming up. But if there's a reliever in this league that can handle it, it certainly is Brad Hand.
Gregor Blanco will come out and run at first base for Jake Lamb.
Gregor Blanco.
Goldschmidt looking down at third base coach Tony Perez-Chica, who goes through the signs. Not much to decide here, though, if you're Torey Lovullo. You got your best hitter and your MVP candidate at the plate. Down a run with a man on in the 9th. Have at it. Goldschmidt waits. Hand to look at first. He comes home. First pitch. He's a fastball low, 1-0. Goldschmidt against Hand, 2 for 7 with a double, 2 strikeouts. He's also walked 3 times. And that's the thing. He has as good of an eye as anybody in baseball.
He's a unique power hitter from that standpoint. It's really, he's just really an all-around player. I don't even know if you could really classify him as a power hitter.
Throw to first, Blanco back standing. He's just a great hitter.
He's a good hitter. He does really everything you would want in a baseball player. He runs, he plays D, he can hit for average. He's a smart hitter, and he can hit for power and drive and run.
Padres trying to win for just the 3rd time this year when trailing after 8. One-run lead, but a dangerous spot in the bottom of the ninth. Here's the 1-0 from Hand, and a line drive right field. Blast was deep. Got to come on, got to come in. He does. Makes the catch. One away. Blanco quickly scampering back to first.
Dangerous ball right there, because the outfield has to play no doubles here, trying to prevent the tying run from scoring. Jabari Blash actually played this as perfectly as you can. Doesn't move either way on the line drive. Gets the read, comes in, makes the play. Goldschmidt is retired.
So you get through the MVP candidate, and now you deal with the guy who hit 4 runs in a game on Monday.
No easy task. And he's 3 for 4 today.
All singles. One of them brought home a run. J.D. Martinez. Ground ball would be perfect for Brad Hand. First pitch is a ground ball, but it's going to get through the right side. Asuaje was pulled towards the bag. It went to his left. On his way to third base is Blanco. The runners on the corners, one away. Padres were positioned defensively in a little bit of an irregular way. If they are lined up straight up, that's probably hit right to Asuaje at second base.
One of the things that makes you a good hitter is understanding the matchup. Brad Hand is not a guy you're going to take deep in these situations often. It really is it's really luck if he misses and hangs the ball in the middle of the plate. So at this point, you kind of have to eliminate that. You got to take what he gives you. You see the defense shifted over, and I think J.D. Martinez just took a shot at hitting the ball to the right side and finds a hole over there.
So the tying run now 90 feet away. A.J. Pollock at the plate. He's 0 for 4 tonight, 0 for 8 in the series. If you want to turn 2, remember he's very fast. Infield about halfway in. With that in mind, I'm sure. Here's the first pitch, and Pollock takes the slider for a strike, 0-1.
And this is where the smarts of Andy Green comes into play. That he knows that turning a double play here on A.J. Pollock is going to be tough. So the infield is basically in, conceding the double play, wanting to get that, keep that runner either at third or make a play on him at home.
That runner is Gregor Blanco. Martinez at first, one away. Here's the 0-1. Slider hammered foul. Third base, 0-2.
Now on that pitch, they seem to have shifted a little bit. You see Ibar creeping more towards that 5.5 hole. Asuaje is at double play depth. So on the chance that there's a ball hit to either Spangenberg or Ibar, they have a chance to turn 2. And because they are in a little bit further than normal, it cuts down the distance of the throw that you have to make.
No balls and 2 strikes to Pollock. Runners lead at first and third. Padres by a run in the bottom of the ninth. Now the 0-2 from Hand. Fastball up and away. He thought about chasing it, but able to lay off. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
A strikeout would be huge for Brad Hand here.
Hand allows the infield to go to a normal place. The next man up is scheduled to be the left-handed hitting Descalso. They got bats on the bench if they want them. 8-7 Padres. Bottom of the ninth. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Pollock. And a couple of looks at first base. Now he comes home in the dirt. Nice stop by Hedges. That one rolled out about 10 feet in front of the plate. And Austin simultaneously going to get it while staring down the runner at third, Blanco.
It's a fantastic block there by Hedges, keeping that ball in front.
2-2 to Pollock. This is as entertaining and wild a game as we have seen all season. No joke. Padres get 6 in the top of the ninth, and now Arizona 2 on, 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. It'll be a 2-2 to Pollock. Here it comes. Fouled away, right side into the seats and out of play. The Arizona Diamondbacks had won 13 in a row. Padres beat them up pretty good last night, a 10-6 win. Tonight they trailed 7-2 going to the ninth. Battling and battling and battling against one of the best teams in the National League. And now Arizona trying to battle back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pollock. And kicks the leg, comes home, swinging a fly ball deep down the right field line, but it'll be foul. It'll be out of play. Still 2-2. Meeting on the mound here. The entire infield joins Hedges and Hand.
Ibar calls everybody in to have a conversation.
Ready to go. Runners on the corners, 1 out. 2-2 to Pollock. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming from Brad Hand. Here it is. In the dirt, and again blocked by Hedges as the ball rolls out in front of the plate. The count is full, 3-2. On that pitch, Ibar was much farther to the left than he was earlier in the at-bat. Closer to third base.
Well, Ibar knows the signs. He knows what's coming, so he knows the breaking ball's coming. The likelihood of Pollock pulling the ball is high, so he slides over a little bit.
So now a full count. Not that you'd ever necessarily want to push the winning run into scoring position, but if he walks, you do set up a force at the plate, and you do get a slower batter at home. Now a 3-2. Here it comes to Pollock, swinging a pop-up left field. This is going to be interesting. Perella charging in. Blanco tagging at third base. He will not try and score. Perfect throw from Perella. Back to the infield, 2 away. Not deep enough. I'm thinking he's not the most experienced left fielder ever. You're the Diamondbacks. Maybe try and push it. They didn't. And now 2 outs with runners on the corners. Descalso was scheduled to hit. We said they had right-handed bats available, and indeed they will pinch hit here. I believe it'll be the former Padre, Adam Rosales.
This is a strictly by the numbers move right here. Descalso, who had reached base all 4 times, including a home run today, will be pinch hit for Rosales here. I just think to your point about that ball to Perella there, it's just a little too shallow.
Yeah. And he made a great throw.
And he did. So it looks like the perfect call.
Yeah. Not quite deep enough to try and tie it. 8-7 Padres, 2 outs, runners on the corners. Rosales pinch hitting against Hand, whom he has never seen, and a slider for a called strike, 0-1. Rosales last night had a pinch hit single in the 6th. He stayed in to play first base and then struck out in the 8th. In 22 games with the Diamondbacks since coming over from Oakland, he's hitting .271 with 3 homers and 8 RBIs. Base hit here ties the game. If he's out, the game is over. No balls and a strike. The pitch from Hand, another slider, another strike. 0-2. Perfect on the outside edge. Brad Hand has gotten ahead of Rosales. No balls and 2 strikes. Teammates last year in San Diego. Blanco at third, Martinez at first. Rosales waits. Hand who's set at the belt. Now the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. It hit him. Hit him on the foot. And now the bases are loaded. And the potential winning run into scoring position. And on 0-2, Rosales is hit by a pitch.
Slider, that back foot slider, catches him right on the ankle. On the knee, actually.
We're at the point that no matter what happens in this game, it's going to be heartbreaking for somebody.
Right.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Big night for the switch hitter, Ketel Marte. 2 singles, 2 walks, 2 runs scored. And he bats here with the bases loaded, 2 out. His team down by a run. Blanco the tying run at third. Martinez the potential winning run at second. Rosales at first means nothing. Myers playing almost a third of the way between first and second, with Marte batting from the right side. Brad Hand comes set at the belt. The pitch is taken outside, ball 1. Marte has extended his hitting streak tonight to 6 games. 2 hits yesterday, 2 more today.
He also has reached base all 4 times today. 2 walks, 2 singles.
1 ball and no strikes. The pitch from Hand is fouled straight back, 1-1. Will Myers really got the comeback started. A pair of 2-run homers. Padres scored 6 times in the 9th inning. Just a tremendous comeback. And now hanging by a thread here in the bottom of the 9th. 1 ball and 1 strike to Marte. And is ready now the pitch. It's a slider and a strike on the outside corner, 1-2. For the second consecutive batter, Brad Hand is 1 strike away. Hand has thrown 22 pitches this inning. He has thrown as many as 38 in an outing this year. He's fresh. He's rested. That's not an issue. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Marte. And now he asks for time just as Brad comes set. Are you not entertained?
It's certainly been a fantastic game to watch.
The 9th inning has been edge-of-your-seat baseball the entire time.
It has.
Top and bottom. Padres by a run. Arizona with the bases loaded, 2 outs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brad Hand trying to finish it off. He is set at the belt. Now the pitch to Marte. Checks his swing on a slider, little bit down and in, 2-2. This guy, similar to a Suaje, he gives you a tough at bat.
He does. I was just going to say, his ability to lay off tough pitches, foul tough pitches off, reminds me a lot of Carlos Suaje. You beat me to it, though.
Great minds and such. Able to lay off there, now 2-2. Runners take their leads off all 3 bases. Hand is set. Kicks the leg. Now the 2-2 to Marte, and he spoils a slider foul down the right field line into the second deck and out of play. Two and 2 is interesting because if he gets a ball 3 with the bases loaded and a 1-run lead, it gets really tight up there.
It's kind of tight.
Not that Brad Hand seems bothered by any of that. Standing on the top of the hill like he always does. Looser than he should be. Both great effect. Another chance to finish the job. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Marte. Here comes the pitch, and a swing and a miss. And pumped a fastball past him at 96 miles per hour. It's strike 3, and the Padres come back to win the game 8-7. They have won the series in Arizona. They ended the winning streak last night. And tonight, a 6-run 9th inning. Final score, 8-7 San Diego. What a win in the desert. Take a break. Come back with the totals after this on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
You know that everything is A-OK.
Make sure you'll be there. Get a car battery test today. Find a location at interstatebatteries.com. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
Will Myers crushes it here. FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
An absolutely magnificent comeback for the Padres tonight as they scored 6 runs in the 9th inning to come from behind and beat the Diamondbacks 8-7. Brad Hand loaded the bases in the bottom of the 9th inning with a 1-run lead, but struck out Ketel Marte to end the game. And what a night here at Chase Field. Padres have taken the first two of this series, ended the 13-game winning streak yesterday, and just an absolutely heart-stopping, thrilling victory here on a Saturday night in the desert. As for the totals, the Padres, 8 runs on 12 hits, no errors, they left 5. Arizona, 7 runs on 13 hits, 1 error, they left 10. Phil Maton gets the win to go to 3-0. Fernando Rodney blew the save, takes the loss. He's 4-4. Brad Hand, 17th save. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 33 minutes in front of 34,156. Tonight's game was brought to you by Mission Fed, longtime community partner of our hometown team, the San Diego Padres. To find out more, visit missionfed.com/community. So much to unpack from this one. Obviously, you got to talk about Brad Hand at the very end. We got to talk about Will Myers, 2 huge home runs to start the comeback. And then Carlos Asuaje, one of the best at-bats we have seen all year, to not only single but get a little bit of help from the Arizona defense and get those last 2 runs across the plate in the 9th inning. A true team effort here in Game 2 of this series. 8-7 San Diego. Padres Baseball on FM 94.9 has been a presentation of Entercom Radio and the San Diego Padres Radio Network. Our producer-engineer is Dave Marcus. Senior executive producer Rich Herrera. Assistant producer Jim Russell. And studio coordinators Zeth Oates and Kimberly Scott. This is Jesse Agler for Tony Gwynn Jr. and Ted Leitner, reminding you to join us tomorrow at 1:10 for the final game of this series. Padres will be going for the sweep at Chase Field. Post-game show with Rich is next on the FM 94.9 Padres Radio Network.
Thanks for tuning in to FM 94.9 Padres Radio for today's ball game. Our broadcast was made possible in part by Mission Federal Credit Union, supporters of the Padres RBI program, bringing baseball and softball to inner city youth. Valley View and by We've Got What It Takes. Stay tuned for the Padres postgame show back in our Mission Valley studios. He'll send it back to the radio booth one more time for some final thoughts and have a recap of today's game action along with highlights and the money tree play of the game. Plus, you'll hear reaction to the game from Padres manager Andy Green. The postgame show is coming up next on FM 94.9 Padres Radio.
When trash, yard waste, and automotive fluids find their way into gutters and storm drains, they are on a direct path to the ocean. All of us need to do everything